Mattel Electronics presents the Intellivision Gamer.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to show 67. I'm your host, the Intellivision Gamer. Today we're going to play some unreleased games, most of which should be coming out at some point. One's questionable. We are going to have on Michael Hayes. He's going to tell us about somewhere he was Saturday, which is kind of cool. We are going to have some news, some score results. I have quite an assortment of packages here for mail call, most of which is Intellivision. We're going to have a Homebrew Highlight. We're going to have a Collector Minute. Haven't done one of those in a few episodes, I think. We're going to have a Homebrew Highlight on, I got to catch up on those OpCode Games, Naughty Boy, and we're going to play that a little bit. And before we get started, please, guys, give the show a like. It really does help. And if you're new here, consider subbing, as I post Intellivision content every single week. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, AtariAge, Discord, the Retro Gamer YouTube channel, and my email is also in the description of every video if you need to get a hold of me another way. All right, let's go ahead and welcome everyone in chat. Once again, Benville is first. Good to see you, sir. You are consistent. Michael Doherty's here. Welcome, Michael. We got Des. Good to see you. EE Buckeye. We got Harvey on time. Operation Shutdown. What's going on, sir? Good to see you. Code Monsieur from Georgia. We've got Pierre. Welcome, Pierre. Retro Bliss Gaming. What's up? I'm a blister on his channel, not show, channel. Joey Vibes, welcome. We got Metal Torso. Oh, all the cool guys are here tonight. Thank you, guys. Michael Hayes, of course. Michael, were you wanting to pop on the whole time or just for your segment? Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. I can see you. Your thumb's a little too high. Okay, you want to come on the whole time? All right, give me 1 second. I'll introduce you as soon as we get through this part. My mail call today, some Masters of the Universe toys. Ooh, I like old toys too, but I don't have much time or money after all the games and my other expensive hobby, which is RC racing. And I haven't done that in like 5.5 months, and I'm gearing up, getting my stuff ready, getting the last few little things I need. I need to start racing again now and then. I don't think I missed anyone. Trying to catch up. Whoo. All right. All the way caught up. OS, amazing new logo. Oh, yeah, I like the new logo. Like the new logo, Phil. If you guys aren't already subbed to Retro Bliss Gaming, I watch him pretty much every day. He does live streaming. He does a show with Mike's Gaming Gala on Tuesdays. They start at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. I love hanging out there. It's a fun group of guys. Operation Shutdowns from there. A lot of you guys, I know, I see you in the chat. So consider subbing to him if you don't already, for sure. Who'd I miss here? Brian, what's going on, Brian? Oop, it's moving whenever I'm clicking. May have to play Kool-Aid Man. Rick, what's going on, Rick? And we've got Retro Dean 66, the guy we tried to find for like 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe you'll get lucky, sir. Maybe you'll get lucky. All right, so let's go ahead and bring on Michael. He said he wants to come on for the whole news and everything. Welcome, Michael Hayes.
Hi, you can hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Awesome. I hear you fine, but I'm not listening through normal speakers. So you guys hearing Michael okay?
Can everybody else hear me okay?
I am. Does anyone else see my screen flicker? I've had that issue and no one's been able to see the flicker. It's so weird because only where my cam is, I get a flicker and it just keeps drawing my attention. Everyone says they don't see it, but it's literally nowhere else on my screen, just where my cam is, and I can't figure it out. So if you see me flicker, someone please let me know. No flicker? Okay, well, it's drawing my attention like crazy. So if you guys haven't seen it, It's just somehow on my end. So quick update. I mean, funny for me, but every time I end the show, I play a little outro with the song from GamesR that made for me. And, it talks about the show and all the things I do on the channel, the gameplay videos. Well, I don't know how long I've been at 5 o'clock, a few months. I never changed it. So now it explains why a few people have, asked about something, and maybe they saw that, but nobody has noticed, including myself, that the outro says 5:30 for the show. Some of you guys may because you're in different time zones. And I also, ever since I edited it to put in Horse Racing Live on that, I never switched over from that either. So I posted a video about Demon Attack, and I'm like, oh, I got to change the outro. I still have the old time. And then I'm sitting there and I go, crap, I don't think I've ever changed it for the show either. So, I mean, it's not like it's a big deal. It now says horse racing and it says the correct time, but nobody noticed, including me. And I'm usually sitting there watching you guys instead of that. But all right, so let's go ahead and hit the little bit of news we got. Television news. Let's go click onto this. I always say I'm going to have that one sitting there ready, but I never do. Intellivision Invasion Facebook group, Kevin Schultz, 34 minutes ago, a little longer than that maybe now. Demon Attack. And I actually had time. I love Demon Attack. I'm not the best at it, as you're going to see here. I finished somewhere in the middle. But we got Rick taking the win, 44,000. That is an incredible score for Demon Attack. I can do better than I got in this, but I didn't get time to play again. And this was my first game. And it was actually personal best since I've been recording anyway. Romaine, 18,917. We got Darwin, 15,660. We had 14 people play this week, which is pretty good. Mike, 15,474. Kurt Kietsky, 14,699. Myself in sixth, 12,307. Just edging out Kevin Schultz, the guy behind this contest, at 12,086. Alan, 9,010. James Bradwitt, 6,635. Gadislaw, 6,446. Cristiano, 4,664. Michael Doherty snuck in another game, 4,474. DJF Forster, 4,122. And Jose, 3,601. Again, 14 people. So right now, oh man, whether Princess Quest, it is a homebrew, but the ROM, I guess, is available for free. I have the complete in box. I'm going to see. I don't really know how to play that game. I'm going to try to pull it out and get a score in, see if I can get on a roll and make time to play these weekly challenges. Michael, what is your score for Demon Attack? Do you play that at all?
Me? Not really. I probably could just play it on Twitch one of these Friday nights. But yeah, I'm not really good at it.
I love shooters. I'm not the best at it, but I do like it. I think the control, in my opinion, needs to be fixed or tightened up. I love the boss, but it seems a little chunky, like when I'm moving compared to some other games. I don't know if anyone will ever do that, but I love the game. I love how it has the boss level versus other versions. I'm going to be honest, on the Atari, I love the noise it makes and how they, how they go and then come together. I love that, but I think the boss trumps all that. I love the sound and how they pop in, but I love having the boss.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of the boss, too, right now. Pandemonium. That's what it is.
Oh, I didn't even know. In the manual?
Yeah.
I've never, I don't think I've ever read the manual for that one.
Yeah, because when I put together the default config for my front end, I tried to get in because especially iMagic had a lot of names for everything.
Welcome a few new people in. James Boner, what's going on, sir? He does a lot of the PyRTO 2 soldering and selling. A lot of us have bought those units from him. I came across the ROM for Intellivision, clicked on it, air screen pops up. If you're seeing that, it's definitely not supposed to be around. GamesR. Thanks, Michael. GamesR is the one behind my song. It definitely adds a lot to it whenever it's just, a cool song instead of just sitting there with text. Yep, Michael Hayes, Mr. Fubar, among other things.
Yes.
Better Mousetrap, all kinds of things.
One thing I should have done, see, all my my inventory is upstairs. I had a box here, but then I remembered I brought my laptop home in this box. So yeah, otherwise I was going to whip out the games and start showing them off here.
Oh, yeah, that would have been good. We can tell them anyway. What's going on, Chris? Good to see you, Dave.
Well, there's still my Instagram post the day before I left for the show.
I think that's how I mean, we had talked about it earlier, but then I forgot when it was, and I saw your social media post both on your personal and then, I think Instagram as well, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, yep, Retro Bliss, the Pi RTO2 is sweet. Yes, and that is a guy, Andrea from Italy, that created the unit, but Mr. Boner is the guy that most of us have bought it from, because you can actually buy the parts if you can solder those things yourself, and it's quite a bit cheaper, but I mean, they're really cheap in my opinion. He's doing all the work, 3D printing the shell. I mean, I think it's a great deal and a good service that he's putting out for all of us to be able to use those things. Make sure I didn't miss anyone here. All right, so where are we at here? I kind of got lost track. So we got the high score for Demon Attack, and they are playing Princess Quest, I think it was, through Sunday. Definitely check it out. The ROM is available for free. The link is in the link there, so you can grab it all. If you don't have it already, definitely follow that link and get the game. Yeah, it's 50 shipped. They're 40. Maybe, I can't remember if it was free shipping or I bought several of them. But definitely, if you don't have a Pi RTO2, they work with a lot of the homebrews, not all, but a lot of them. And the 125 comes loaded on. You can't beat that. And when I go to shows, I take those, because if somebody takes it, I've got 3 or 4 more sitting at home, and I'm not going to lose my LTO or backbit that costs a lot more money. Sean, what's going on? You're on the wrong screen name, buddy. All right, so now we have, let me pop that screen back up. We have the AtariAge done by Rick, and that is season 20. Dreadnought Factor finished up last week. Let's get to the scores here. We had Peripheral with 27,094, Intifan Matt with 14,815, and Rick in third place, 11,480. Mikey 9255, Crash 7 7248, DPI Sakane 6445, and Jay Blinkle 4781. And they are currently finishing up Mazatron and Vectron, and still playing Wormwomper. And I actually entered, I think that's my first time entering this contest. I entered Wormwomper. Let's go ahead and show that. There's usually a lot of things going on at once on this one. So there'll be a link in the description. If it's not, most of the other videos have it in there already. It'll be to this main page, and then you just got to find the game or whatever one you're looking for. There's Dreadnought Factor. Wormwomper's up here. It says Matt's birthday special. All the information's there. If you have any kind of instructions on which, if there's different levels or, hitting the disc or a button, it'll tell you what to do. This one's still going on, but look at this. Intifan Matt, just getting a warm-up. By the way, he does have the record for this Wormwomper game, over 500,000, according to the contest. Not official worldwide or anything, but something tells me that's pretty far up there. And there I am with a whopping 99,000, which is my personal best. I was getting close there at the end. I glanced up to see if I went over 100,000, and I looked back down and I missed one. I don't know if it was like one of the ones that get laid there and then starts going, but I died when I looked up to see if I hit 100,000, and it was literally right before it. I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to try to play again. Not too many people have done scores on that one. Next up, I don't believe I said it. I think I got sidetracked with some stuff. We've got John Hancock, and he put a post up. Oh, I got to make this bigger. I forgot about that. Oop, not that one. Oh, which one is it? Always do that. I'm not used to having someone else on at the beginning. Only happened a couple times. It was super small. So we've got Block'em Sock'em, limited supply, ready to ship. And he posted, and this was, where is it here? I had it on there, kind of reset. This was May 12th. This was supposed to be talked about last week, and somehow I missed it. 7 copies left. I haven't seen him post that he's out. He's gearing up on another Intellivision game. We've all been told what that is. Brian's Man Cave, the Turtles game. He says, I have decided that I plan on holding off on doing another run of this game for now. I'm not opposed to it, just the demand might not justify it. I'll be offering the game digital format after the 7-game sale. So for those of you that want the ROM, as soon as all the digital copies sell, he's going to be selling the ROM. And the next one he's going to put on this site, which is AtariAge, and he's going to be selling it at PRGE. So I'll be grabbing my copy in person. And just, I think you had one more update here. People are talking about a list for the Turtles game. There's Michael Doherty. There's myself. Just the passion in television. Fans rock. Definitely grateful for the support and looking forward to offering another game that I hope will be a hit. So that, if it's a PRGE release, you're going to be looking for that in October 17th, 18th, and 19th. The 19th is my wife's birthday, but we are still going because we're making it a family trip. And then Sunday, I'll have to leave. I'll go to the morning and see if I can pick up anything I was missing. And then we take off for the wife's birthday. But I'll still make most of the show. Let me catch up here. Joey Vibe says, Worm Whomper is great. Yeah, I agree. It's a fun game. It's a game that one of those that I just wish I had as a kid. Didn't know about it until I found eBay in '98. Oh, yeah, I was getting to that, too, and I forgot. They play each game for about 2.5 weeks on the AtariAge one. And there are a lot of little side challenges going as well that you'll find whenever you hit that link. His world record is 814,000 on Twin Galaxies. Matt Wormwomper. Oh, my gosh. Oh, that's insane. I had a hard time reaching 100,000. Phil says, Block 'em Sock 'em for Intellivision isn't my favorite version. Not that any of them are. Just a basic game. He sells them at the shows. I'm looking forward to Turtles. It has a little more to it. October 19th is Yorktown Day. It's my wife and my father's birthday, and also a few friends. And it's also PRGE, which is the second most important one, right? Mr. Bassman, what's going on, sir? I'm working on it. 2 parties involved are gone next week, so we're going to be setting them up here very shortly. Michael says, I used to play... What is that?
Flip Hole. It was a Taito arcade game originally called Plotting. But, yeah, Block 'em Sock 'em plays very much like this game, Flip Hole.
I've never heard of that one. We've got OG Ugo. I work with an Ugo. You recognize this, sir? I was playing with it this last week. Kurt Bradshaw, what's going on? Good to see you, sir. Michael says, that is the day that Cornwallis surrendered to Washington. Did I say Demon Attack is free? They have Princess Quest. I think that's what it's called. And there's a link to download it. Yeah, I got one of the first ones. I saw it. I don't miss a thing on eBay. And I got it from you on eBay. Everyone else, they have the numbers on there. I like having the numbers, but I mean, it's not like I don't know where they are. Works pretty good, sir. Yeah, well, I have to say second most important because it's my wife's birthday. And if she happens to see this, which I highly doubt, I'm not going to be saying PRG is more important. Even if I'm lying, I'm still going to say it. I kid. Yeah, the black buttons, and whenever they print the numbers on them, I didn't think they were printed on there. All right, so where are we at now? Went through all that. Digital controllers. So a lot of you, my gosh, I didn't even really, let me switch this back to, I didn't even really try to sell these things, but for those of you that are on it, I have like 40 of these controllers that I sold really fast. These are the digital touchscreen controllers with the thumbstick. They come in this nice wood box. It's been like, I forget what you call it, but it's like burned in. What do you call that, Michael? Whenever you kind of like etching, but they do it with by burning it in. Is there a name for it?
Wood burning?
Yeah, wood burning. I guess that's simple
Yeah,
as
wood
that.
burning.
I didn't know if
Yeah.
there was like a more official term or anyway, these things are really cool. If you have one that you said you wanted it, I am doing the orders. They wanted to do batches of 10. I'm going in order that you signed up. So I've got all the money and everything for the first order of 10 and one person for the second order. And I will be contacting you for that second batch and we'll just keep going. But these things look really cool. I can't wait. This one will work on emulation. It's one of the early ones. I will be using them on my console here shortly. I am obviously in the first batch, and I'm hoping to get those. I don't know how long it's going to take to come from Brazil, but it's going to take a little bit. But if you guys are on the list, trust me, you're on the list. I'm just going in batches of 10 and in order of whenever you signed up. Laser engraved. Yeah, I guess it's real. I guess it could be that too. Yeah, Sean says they use a laser burn, laser etched. Everyone knows but me. Yes, sir, you are on there. Like I said, if you signed up to get one, you're in where you got in, and I will be contacting everyone for payment and all the details. You get to pick one of 4 colors. And we'll get you guys soon. It works on the original consoles. They use digital overlays, and it works on everything. There's adapters for all the other consoles. Now, if you have the new IntelliPort, I mean, I guess nobody really has those yet. But if you're going to order one, you can use it that way without an adapter. Also, these cool little controllers from OG Ugo right here. Among many others from BD Retro Mods, Retro Game Boys. I know I'm going to forget some. I think I pretty much have. I buy them all. I try to support everyone that makes controllers or anything for Intellivision. 1, to show it off, but 2, just to support. And you'll be able to plug them right into the IntelliPort if you don't have a console like the Sears unit or the Intellivision 2. But these here will plug in USB-C for emulation. And they also have, the regular standard connector. So I'm really looking forward to it. You just put in the digital overlays and away you go. Full review coming soon on those. Chris says, man, that flicker is driving me nuts. It's just sitting there, flick, 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 flick. It's like every time I'm trying to read something, it's just drawing my attention. Back in my day, we used wood-burning game controllers. I can't wait to try when you get them. Yeah, I can't remember where everyone is, but like I said, wherever you jumped in at, we're just going in that order. Figure that's the fairest way to do it. You can, if you want one, send me a message. All my links are in the description. I can get you in on the list, but nobody can skip the line. Nobody can skip the line. I'm about as fair as they come on stuff like that. Laser brained. I remember when wood burning art was done with hand tools. Yes, no lasers. My sister-in-law does a lot of that stuff, and she loves doing it. There's a lot of tools. Like it looks like they look kind of like soldering irons to me, at least what she uses. They do all kinds of cool stuff with that, and they go deeper. It's not just like this. You don't really feel it. It's laser. But what she does, they're actually burning it into the wood. No, these things are with shipping, tax, because everyone's splitting the shipping. I make nothing off it, just trying to help people out. We've got like 40 of them on order. They're $85. We got a good discount because we're doing bulk, which basically paid for all the expensive shipping from Brazil and the fees and all the different things. They came out to about $85 each, or they did come out to $85 each. We're doing batches of 10. What's going on, Mike? Did you know the British have a dish called... I did not know that. Nope, nobody has them yet. I believe if not the only one of very, very few. One other person might have one so far. I have a Sears Intellivision story short. It's the Sears Intellivision my dad bought when we worked for them. I never had the Intellivision console as a kid. I had the regular 2609 Intellivision 2 later, but I did have a lot of Sears games because we frequented Sears, and I would go to the games, be like, hey, can I get a game? Torso says, I bought from OG Ugo a ColecoVision controller, Intellivision controller, and mod for the ColecoVision, all done really nice. Yes, sir. Almost everyone has one of these controllers right now that I see on YouTube. In the email or in the box. I know the cigarettes used to be called the shorter version of that. That's one word I'm not going to say. I'll say a lot of things, but I'm not saying that one. Yes, that. Cigarettes.
I don't know if you heard, but Darth Vader allegedly said that. I don't know if you heard, but whatever. Darth Vader got added to Fortnite or something. And people were talking to it. It was like AI generated conversation as Darth Vader. But yeah, there was one where, yeah, somebody got him to use that word. And people were cracking up online about it. But
Mr. Baseman says I had the original in 81. Yeah, the 2609. Yep, the Sears Super Video Arcade. The Video Arcade was Atari. Are you seeing the Salvador? You're messing with me. Are you messing with me, or you see that flicker? Because it's driving me up a wall. I figured because I've been asking for a few weeks, I've did updates. I can't understand how it's only there and nowhere else on my screen and nobody else can see it. That doesn't make sense to me. Pierre says I bought also and received my Intellivision and ColecoVision controller from OG Ugo. Yeah. The Pornhub virus again. All right, so where are we at here? Digital controllers, mail call. So we've got a lot of cool stuff, a lot of it being Intellivision. This is coming from 8-Bit Widgets. Our buddy Caleb, he made this for me for my Master System. I bought a back bit. I'm collecting really strongly for NES and the Master System, and I do have a back bit for the Master System, and he makes these cool little adapters so it goes in like a regular cartridge and you don't have to kind of like align the board in like you do on a back bit. That's my one thing that I didn't like, and he has these things and he's working on other consoles. He fixes that issue. So very cool. Thank you, Caleb. I got some new shirts from TeePublic. My buddy Rich from Bacon Ice Cream Productions. Team. Oh, is that way off? Oh, no, sometimes I get stuff crooked from them. I was holding it and I saw it in there. Team RTFC. Bacon Ice Cream Productions. My other shirt's red. Got a blue one. And this was, I think, oh, man. Was this from either John or Gen X Grown Up? I can't remember who I found it from. It was just an Intellivision one. I don't have too many orange shirts. A lot of it, the Intellivision didn't show up if you picked one of the other colors. So just another Intellivision shirt to wear on stream. And then I also grabbed, I have a few black ones. I think this was from Go Game Go. And it was TurboGrafx 16 in orange. This next envelope is from Good Deal Games, and it kind of is Intellivision related, I guess. I think he said it's from the 90s. It is a Pitfall shirt that is signed by David Crane. You can see it. Oops, wrong side. This side right here. Signed by David Crane. That was, I had to buy that because I do everything Pitfall, the Intellivision dude. Every time I go to a stream, I request Pitfall, and everything I see Pitfall, I send to him. So I'm sure it gets annoying, but he said I could add this book for like $5 to my order when I got the shirt, From Neptune to Earth, based on the classic game Gyrus. And it is signed on the front right there. Make sure See it at the bottom. I almost said Michael Hayes. Not Michael Hayes. Oh, look at this, Mike. Good Deal Games. And also have a Mike's Gaming Gala card. Must get one with every order. All right, let's get one more, then we'll get to all the Intellivision stuff. I bought a Sega Saturn recently, and I got one of the carts that uses an SD card slot.
Mhm.
So I can put all, or a ton, I think all of them fit. I just got to have a big enough micro SD card. Plays right through the cartridge slot. This, I got a little greedy. It was make sure I didn't show it here. A guy from Canada. If you guys have seen these before, they're the little binders, and you can put 4 games, I think it is. It It holds 4 carts. You can put the manuals on the other side in with the overlays. And then some people put the little name tags in the back here. And then you put all these binders up on your shelf. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 10 down there. And then he had I don't know how many he had at one time, but when I saw him, I bought every single one he had left. No real need to pull them all out, but I got 6 more. So that means I'm up to something like 16 of these things. There is a more rare version I have one of. I can't remember what that is. And speaking of controllers, let me catch up here. Oh, lots of chat. Intellivision Revolution. What's going on, Rev? Oh, I forgot in the news. There are a lot of Intellivision Revolution games on eBay. You've probably seen me talk about it on my page. Definitely, if you're looking for some, go check out Cyber Carolina on eBay. There's a lot of them. Michael says, and the Sears Video Arcade 2 was the only U.S. release of the Atari 2800. I never saw one of those as a kid. Drive more like a short putt. Hey, speaking of putt, I'm golfing Wednesday. A lot of guys where I work, the whole company, there's free golf league and a lot of other sports. And there's 6 or 7 guys from my shop that are golfing this year. And I am set to go. I'm going to be pretty much the bottom of the barrel. A lot of these guys have been playing for a lot of years, but I'm going to go give it a go on Wednesdays whenever it works out. It just started doing it, Sean. I don't know, like a few weeks ago. Maybe it's something with the power to the USB. I've got an add-on. All these things. Let me see. But I've had the same everything. I don't change my setup at all. Pull this out. Someone said pull out your SanDisk hard drive, and maybe nope, it's still flickering. I can see it, so that wasn't it. I like the Sears game, said Video Arcade on the boxes. Yeah, they were different. The game was the same. The overlays were the same, but the manuals and the boxes were different. Retro Bliss says Caleb should get with EV to get them sold directly from Backbit. That would be cool, just mass produce them, and then he could also sell them on his as well. I'm not sure if either one wants to mess with that, but it'd definitely be easier for us. Yep, Super Video Arcade, because the Video Arcade was Atari, so they had to call it something different. Salvador says, love the Sega Master System, found the best Craigslist deal ever, and got a console plus 10 games, all CIB. Yeah, and there's some rare ones too, but it's not super expensive to collect overall, but there are some rare ones. That Buster Douglas is the #1 for the US release anyway. It's like $1,000+, maybe up to $1,300. You got to find one. And the only ones I've ever seen weren't in the best condition. Looks like Buster beat him up. Yes, Pitfall 2 and 3 are both amazing. I love all Pitfall games. I like them all. I just picked up new old stock Master System 3D glasses. Sweet. I have 3D glasses loose, I think. I'm still looking to get one complete in box. I've got a pretty good amount of stuff and games, considering I just started December 15th when I went to Sat Gamers Expo. But here the last couple months, I haven't purchased too much. It's been too much going on in that vacation. That drained my bank account. Phil says, Gyrus is one of my favorite arcade shooters. NES has a great version also. Is that the one that Mike's really good at? Don't ever challenge Mike to Gyrus. I'm pretty sure that's ringing a bell. Yep, Sega Saturn. Oh boy, I'm a few minutes behind here. You guys are chatting it up. My roommate in college had a Saturn. Salvador says, my original Saturn is fully loaded via, I don't even know what that is. Satiator? What is that? Like is it a cart or is it like the thing where they plug in the hard drive? Warm up with golden tea. I'm a lot better at video game golf games than that. What's going on, sir? Good to see you. Retro Bro Gaming Entertainment. Michael Doherty. I do the Saturn old-fashioned way. I bought all the US. You did that a long time ago, I'm assuming, right? Because Saturn, my gosh, are the games expensive. Phil says power supply may be overworked or going bad. Huh. It's a pretty nice computer sitting here. Maybe a new Pitfall one day. Ooh, brand new? Whoa. You know I'm going to buy it. Pick of the 2800. Almost caught up here. Michael says the NES port of Gyrus has all 30 lives code, or has a 30 lives code. Michael Doherty says, Rev, I will test it or anything. Michael Doherty has the time. And soon, when he's retired, he'll be writing articles for the magazine and play testing games. Joey says, I know what that's like. The new Masters of the Universe toys are eating my bank account. Yes. And I collect for so many different things. And my RC racing takes just as much money as retro gaming. Trust me. Almost caught up. It's an HDR monitor, active dimming monitor. Could be a refresh rate. But yeah, I guess I'll have to look into things. I don't ever touch anything. I use it for collecting web pages for, YouTube and, doing this kind of stuff right here. I don't touch it for anything else. Don't ever make changes. Not really sure. Super Mega Graphics 64. If you can, try changing your webcam to 24 frames per second. That may fix it. But that's so weird. Wouldn't you guys see that if it was flicker from the webcam? OG Ugo says the Intellivision Game or sent you an email to get on the list. Also, give me your info so I can send you a replacement controller with the new buttons. All right, I'll check the email and I'll put you on the list. It won't be long, but like I said, we're doing it as you sign up. I'm going to do one, get it going, then get the second one, get it going. So it's not going to be long, just going in the same order. All right. Oops, didn't show you guys this one. Speaking of controller, another one I found on eBay. I hadn't seen this one yet. There is, if you guys have seen the Genesis controller, it's the same person. But this is Mayflash Arcade Stick F101 for Switch, PC, PS3, Neo Geo Mini. And this is for the Intellivision. So we're going to be trying that out at some point. And last, but certainly my most favorite, new Homebrew Games. This is from the Intellivision Collector. Hopefully there's no surprises in here. The new release. You got 4 games in one. I got both versions, of course. If he puts a sticker on it, I'll have to buy those too. And this was, I told him a long time ago, I was looking for a Super Pro. I ended up getting a trade. This was the last homebrew that I got that I needed, and it took a long time to get. And I'm also getting one from Rev because I told him as soon as he got them, I would be getting those. So now I'm going to have 3. This is the other version. So what this was, you got Mattel Electronics. And then there was another version that was Digiplay. And there are differences. What the heck is this? Oh, okay. I forgot about that. And then here we've got the MT201 test cartridge. That's very cool. These things aren't cheap to find, some of the originals and to reproduce a test cart. That's pretty cool. And this is, it's going to be hard to see right there. That is an upgrade board, AV mod for the Intellivision, the one that Luke sells. So it's got the little, I don't know, do you see that little running man? Can you see it in the corner? I grabbed one of those as well. That's going to do it for mail call. I think that's all. It's quite a bit here, but let's see here. Oh, and I never switched it over. My gosh. OBS virtual camera. Oh, I went back to it. Okay, I see. Homebrew Highlight. We are going to check out Naughty Boy. I know these are new. You guys have seen them all. You've got this nice magnetic latch. OpCode Games. To me, for whatever console you buy them for, definitely you're going to get a quality product, especially in the packaging. There is the full color manual. I still haven't received my overlays because I did get these right away to show them off. And I had one overlay. As you guys recall, the last delay was for the overlays. They weren't quite right. He had them redone, so we had to wait. And then on the outside of the box, they had this arcade series sticker. And I don't know if anyone else does, but I just kind of cut it out so I can leave it inside the box. Because once you unwrap it, it's gone. Oh. And this is not just some cheap foam. This is like what you see in a high-end product. Foam cutout. Very cool. And here is the cart. Now, this was the sleeper hit. At first, Xerion, I don't even know how to say it. I'd never played that before either. And at PRGE the year before, I met Ed and got to try 2 of the games. And then this one came along, and I got the ROMs early to show them off. And I didn't know it, didn't like it right at first. It was a sleeper hit. It grew on me. I think it's my favorite game now of the 3 from OpCode. Let's show it to you guys. Catch up on chat while that's loading. Oh boy. My cord is going to be getting sent in to be fixed, and it's... There we go. Mr. Post Style. Let me see here. That board I'm not using, the one I just showed. I just bought it because it's an Intellivision product. I have all my stuff done. I have 4 consoles. I use SCART into RetroTink 5X Pro, and it's done by Jesse Ivory Tower Collections. That's who all of my stuff, the board. I'm not using that board. Just bought it. Bliss is a naughty boy, says Mr. Post Style. Xerion looks great. I'll get that eventually. Yeah, it's definitely different with the floaty controls, but that's not something they did. I mean, I'm not familiar with it in the arcade, but it has the same floaty controls the arcade version had. You wish that I was a naughty boy. That's the foam of the astronauts. Oh, I was like, I forgot Michael was there. I heard some beeping. I'm like, what the heck is that?
Yeah, it's my phone.
Everyone's saying hello. Oh, sweet. All right. So I'm going to switch over here. So right now, I've never played with this, but I've got it hooked up. I have prototype adapters. I'm actually playing with an 8-bit DOE Super Nintendo controller. It's not great for all games, and I don't even know if it's going to work. Let's see. I'm going to switch. I'll use, since he's in the chat, OG Ugo, we'll play with his. If it lets me. There we go. I don't know which buttons do what. There we go. Definitely takes a little bit to get used to how far to send these things. Oh my gosh. Oh, I missed it. Once you get that down, everything's a lot easier. First level down. Has anyone not bought the OpCode games? I mean, the only one I would say, like, if you don't buy every game, the Goonies is mostly the same version as Goonie Enough, but it is ECS enhanced, and there's a little bit more, sounds, or the title screen is done, so nothing major. But if you already have it and you don't buy them all, you can skip Goonies. You know, that's something that wouldn't be a big deal, but this one, Naughty Boy and Xerion, I highly recommend. I love these games, and all his games are well done. All the packaging, everything about it. Oh! Oh, come on. I guess I can't hit him like that. Let's go to the other side. You have not bought them yet. What are you waiting for? Uh-oh. That one looked like... Oh, I can move. Oh. I don't really know what I'm doing there. Hit him once. Bonus level. Did I suck that? Naughty boys always asking for subs. OG Ugo says, I also just complete work on my Intellivision joystick. I'd love to see that. We need to get you on the show. And you can show off and we can talk about everything and show it all off. Oh, I forgot I got to hit it. Get the question mark, everyone freezes. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing on everything, but... Whoa. I can get through okay. Have you played any version of this, Michael?
I have not.
Had you ever seen it before?
I actually haven't. I've seen a lot of these obscure old games, and this is not one of them.
Yeah, I had no clue before this. Like I said, I'm like, it looks okay. And then I tried it, and, you know, for a while, I was like, that's not bad. Then just the more I played it, I just like it.
Yeah. It's kind of like a similar mechanic to getting used to building the ice bridges in Ice Trek.
Oh,
if you can master that, yeah, you're in pretty good shape. Because I played that on my live stream last winter, and I actually made it to the last scene on the 5th loop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was one, like, that one really was weird to get used to. Ice Trek, I hadn't played that as a kid, didn't have it. And once you get it down, it's not bad, but learning how to play that one, oh, that was a bottle maybe. I'm like, it looked like someone was flipping you off. All right. I played that way longer than I normally do the normal Homebrew Highlights. Let me switch back over. we can play that one more later if we have time. If I don't play too much of the upcoming games, then I will do more of that later. Let me go back to here. All right, so you went somewhere pretty cool on Saturday. Why don't you tell everyone what it was and tell us a little bit about the event itself, and then we'll get further in.
Okay, yeah. So 2 times a year, there's an event called Retro Game Con, sort of in my neck of the woods. It's in Syracuse, New York. But back in 2020, see, their big event is always in October. But then back in 2022, they started doing a May event as well. So it was supposed to have gotten a little bigger this year. So instead of calling it Retro Game Con Junior, they called it Retro Game Con Spring Edition. Well, so I was already registered to appear, and I'm like it in this area for Intellivision. Like, you'd think with a name like Retro Game Con, they'd have, Atari, ColecoVision. No. See, these days, retro is like PlayStation 3.
Yes, which is crazy.
Like, yeah. But anyhow, so you never see anything really like pre-NES these days. A lot of people don't even know of anything pre-NES except for Atari. So, but I always go, both times a year in May and in October. And you always get, see, the thing that makes it worth it is throughout the day, you always get like some middle-aged guys with maybe their wife, kids, or some grandkids. And they're always like, oh my gosh, Intellivision, I haven't seen that in 40 years. And that's like, those are the people that make it worth it. Yep. Yeah, so basically I pack everything up, drive all the way there, do the event, drive all the way back. So, and then I spent all day yesterday recovering from it.
How far the drive for you? Did you say it was like 2.5 hours or something?
2.5 hours, yeah. So it's not too bad. But
what town was it in?
Syracuse. So it's like central New York.
Like, how many square feet are we talking, or like how many people? Is it like a medium-sized event? Is it a fairly large one?
Well, the October event's pretty big.
That's the big one?
That's the big one. This one's more like a bit smaller, a bit more intimate. A few dozen vendors, I'd say, because we were down in like kind of like a ballroom in a hotel.
Okay. Okay.
Even had a wet bar where we were at this time. Usually we're at like this science museum. But yeah, so I was in the corner. I had I had my one table, but I usually have like 3 exhibits. I have like an actual Intellivision, but like with my old CRT TV for authenticity. I have my tablet with my actual dev environment on it. And then I'll have my PC with my PIDE JL front end for Windows. So I have those 3 exhibits, and that always goes over pretty well. So, and of course, before the show started, I put on a B-17 bomber, and like people from like the next booth over is like, oh my gosh, B-17 bomber, like, because AVGN had his Double Vision episode. So
that's iconic.
Yeah, people know that. Anyhow, but yeah, one thing that happened was it only takes me about an hour and a half to set up usually. And I felt pretty bad because I slept for 1 hour Friday night after I did my Twitch live stream. And I thought,
I helped you not sleep as much that night.
Nah, it's all good. Again, it's always good to have somebody to talk about Intellivision with, because I basically just eat, sleep, and breathe Intellivision. But yeah, so I tried to, I was hoping to leave at 4 a.m, get all packed up. So that way it gives me like a half-hour buffer, because first come, first served for prime parking. So I get there at 7:15, and wouldn't you know it, there still was hardly anybody there. So I get in the parking lot. There's like plenty of parking right outside the hotel. And then I just see somebody else with a RGC bumper sticker. I'm like, okay, I'm in the right place. So I go right in, get registered, bang. So I thought, all right, this is cool. I got about 2.5 hours to set up. So, I running back and forth, going down in an elevator with all my stuff. And I start setting up, and then all the technical issues started happening. first of all, because again, I was in a kind of a hurry to get out the door. I didn't bother to bring my Intellivision 1. See, I have 3 systems. I have original Intellivision, I have an Intellivision 2, and I have a Sears Super Video Arcade. So I left my original Intellivision hooked up. So I didn't bother with that. I thought between my Intellivision 2 and my Sears Super Video Arcade, I'll be cool. Plus, I took my controllers that I used to live stream with my, whatever PC interface thing. So I thought there'd be no problem. Well, first of all, the Intellivision 2 didn't want to power up. It's like, well, okay, strike one.
Like, it wasn't the power supply issue?
It could be the power supply. Who knows? They'll just grab another one. Hopefully, it's just that.
That's the easiest.
Yeah. So I'll try some things. But so I took so I had like 2 pairs of Intellivision 2 controllers. So I took the ones off my actual unit, and then I had my extra pair, which I used to do 4-player FUBAR. Well, I hooked up my PC interface. Well, first of all, I hooked up my Sears Super Video Arcade because I know that works, and I plugged in my Sears controllers to it. And then I took a pair of Intellivision 2 controllers, hooked that up to my interface, and I tried it out with one of the diagnostic ROMs in within PIE jail and Windows. And one of the controllers worked fine, except one of the top buttons was held in. But I mean, that's not a deal breaker. Everything worked fine. But the other controller, the up arrow pin, wasn't working. So I couldn't go in for the directions. And the third keypad row keys didn't work. So I thought, well, that's a deal breaker. So anyhow, but then I fired up. So I had my Sears Super Video Arcade on my CRT TV, and I had my LTO flash, and I fired up my ROM of Ultimate Ghostbusters, my personalized ROM. And it was skipping through like the intro and going straight to where you put in your code if you have one. I thought, well, okay, I don't know what's going on here. So I did a bit of debugging, and come to find out, so one of the Sears Super Video Arcade controllers that I was just using the night before on my Twitch live stream was acting like it had a stuck side button because like none of the keys in the left or middle columns were registering. And of course so that's what it was, is it had to have been a stuck side button. So I found when I just unplugged the stupid controller, I was fine. But then I was stuck with like single player. So I just plugged in my ECS keyboard, and I have a huge list of everything to pack, and I had on there because the only other controller I have is I have one long play controller. I coulda, woulda, shoulda packed that. By the way, you're muted. So if I had packed that and put that in controller 2 port, I said on the
real quick. Yeah. I said on the long play. Do you like playing with those, or is it just another option for certain games? Or
well, for me, it's just another option. Then I could have had a full pot of controllers for demoing FUBAR. So as it was, I couldn't demo FUBAR. I didn't bring the new the new reveal this time around is I have boxed copies of Melody Blaster 2,
and a lot of people still need that.
Yes. So I've got copies to sell. I already sold 1 copy before the con. So yeah, I do have copies of Melody Blaster 2.
So are you going to be selling them like right now? If someone in the chat needs certain games, why don't you tell us which games you have available and how they get a hold of you?
Well, so I have right now the 4 games that Rev put out for me. So that's FUBAR, A Better Mousetrap, Triple Challenge Volume 2, and now Melody Blaster Volume 2. So I got a bunch of copies of those. I glued like 8 boxes of each before the con, but I've got like 10 copies altogether of everything. Then I also bought like a bunch of Electronite inventory. So I got a bunch of Electronite games to sell too. I never got around to posting them on my website, but I really should because they're sitting there waiting to be sold. Brand new, shrink wrapped.
So if someone's wanting a copy, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
The old-fashioned way. Just you can just send me an email or PM, however you can get a hold of me, and then we'll go back and forth. I'll get your I'll get your PayPal address. I'll get your physical address so I can get an estimate on shipping. You get back to me, and then then of course I send a PayPal invoice. I get the payment, then I run to the post office, and then usually what I'll do is I'll take a actual picture of the receipt with the tracking number on it, because I usually ship everything via like domestically. I'll ship sorry, brain fart, priority mail.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
You want to throw your email in the comments?
Oh, yes.
Or
Yep. Yeah, I'll put my website, because you can get to my email that way.
Both of them. So we've got Foobar, A Better Mousetrap, Melody Blaster 2, and Triple Challenge 2.
Yes.
And then
it
you
looks
have
like
Electronite Games. What are those? Which ones you have? I mean,
looks like it's not letting me post a link. You can okay it, or
I don't. There's nothing I can do. I don't know how
all
to
right.
post it in the private one, and I can probably copy it.
All right, cool. Let me just do that real quick. But yeah, those are the 4 through. Hey, Mike Scheming Gal. Yes, hello.
What's going on, Mike? Good to see you, Mr. Hayes in the flesh.
Yeah, oh yeah, there it goes. It's in the private chat.
Okay, let me see. I think I can copy it. I think you have to be like a mod or something on the channel for that.
Yeah, you've got to set up permissions or whatever, but that's cool. Yeah, Better Mousetrap. Here's the thing too. I've talked about this, but I try not to get too technical. See, the thing is, from like one person to the next, I try to size up somebody's level of technical proficiency. But, and I've shared this before, I wrote a Better Mousetrap entirely in binary machine code.
Whoo!
Yeah.
Not anyone can do that.
Yeah. Just because I was feeling, really adventurous.
Does that show up as a link for you guys?
Yep. I don't see it as a link, but oh wait, yes, it does show up as a link.
Okay, good, because I really don't throw links.
I'm going to test it.
Says The Better Mousetrap is one of my favorite homebrews. Yeah. He did wonders with the control on that.
Yeah, I'm very proud of how that turned out, because I managed to get it to, 1, behave almost just like the arcade, and 2, okay, I didn't say pull up the back end code. Okay, and 2, get it to sound just like the fanfares sound identical to the arcade. Plus, of course, bigger cheeses. I went with green maze instead of yellow mazes, so that the yellow doors can be yellow instead of white. Did a couple of color changes. I didn't have to do anything with the Hawk. Hawk works because the Hawk comes out at level 2 and above. So the Hawk was already.
Same game in robots?
That same game of robots, yes. That was originally published through Intelligent Vision back in 2005. And yeah, you can go out to Dave Harley's site and you can download it for free, because I posted the source code and let Dave Harley just do whatever we wanted with it. So he did also put out like a 2012 re-release of Same Game of Robots that I wasn't expecting, but that was pretty cool.
Welcome, William. Welcome,
hey,
sir.
Willie. Yes. Beat a medium in 2084. There you go. Yes. That sounds like a game.
Poe's probably working on it.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Poe Style, that's just a running joke with the beat 'em and eat 'em and all kinds of other stuff. And he's coming on the show for episode 69. And the Homebrew Highlight's going to be beat 'em and eat 'em. And we're going to do an interview with Poe. So we got all that stuff set up for episode 69 with Poe.
Perfect.
You want to bring up some pictures? I have that link you sent me from the event.
I sent you that link. Do you need me to?
I have it.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I have it. Just let me.
No problem. Yeah. Because of all the technical problems, I wasn't able to get any pictures because I was too busy, because like the
fighting
con
everything
started, and I still hadn't set up the games. I still hadn't set up the display standees. Let's see.
Okay, let me switch it over this way. All right,
Yeah,
so maybe
But yeah, for
Yeah,
some reason,
stuff.
I went through this list like twice. I'm not in these pictures, although I know somebody did take a picture of my table. So yeah, you
Are
have
those
like
kind of big enough to see for people? I know some people are probably on phones. I guess if you
well,
see
yeah, I can
something
see
you
it.
want me to blow up,
Hmm.
N64. Let's see, it should work. It should pop up one. There we go.
Yeah.
Close. It's gonna go back. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Hey, it looks like
There you
someone was
go.
having fun. Are those little shots or they? I can't tell. The Jello shots.
Yeah, actually, because yeah, this venue had a wet bar. So yeah, somebody was coming
Oh.
around. No, there was somebody dressed up in a giant, like a big costume, like a giant Dunkin' Donuts drink. So somebody was coming around with like little shot glasses full of Dunkin' Donuts, whatever they call their iced coffees. But yeah, somebody later on was coming around with shots of actual alcoholic beverages.
William's saying, if I try for a sequel to one of my games, what game should get a sequel? And I agree with Mike. There are a few that would be
There's
great.
There's a lot of great games out there. Yeah. A lot of great games. I know. Here's another thing too. Now I know that Electronite is distributing the Sour of Godland Thur. Again, for some of you who don't know, now I do have a channel on Rumble. I don't really post much of anything out there, but I did do a full playthrough, and I have that on my Rumble channel. But see, the copy of the ROM image that I have on my LTO Flash, because I was one of the early supporters, so I had a digital ROM, plus I bought physical. But on the LTO Flash copy I had, I was at the beginning. I just played through the whole entire game while I was there Saturday. That was pretty fun.
I haven't played that one yet. I have the original and the re-release.
Okay, yeah. I just have the original right now, but that game, I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to that just because I pretty much mastered it. Basically, every now and again, I'll just fire it up just so I can grind for more levels, but not really need to. Yeah, a lot of
people dressed up.
Yeah.
It's a little bigger than it sounded at first. It looks a little bigger than what I was thinking.
Yeah, it was smaller. Again, it was smaller in previous years, and this year it got bigger, which is why they did the name change and dropped the name Junior and went with Spring Edition.
Sometimes the medium-sized shows like this are a lot more fun because you actually have time to do and see everything and mingle with people. When the shows are just humongous, it's like you just race around. Like the Midwest Gaming Classic, you could go for 2 days and hardly see everything.
Not hit everything.
Rushed it.
Yeah. This was, I'd say more like small to medium size. Again, I'd say there were probably about maybe a good 3-4 dozen vendors, maybe. They did have like a stage with I think people doing I think it was maybe a rock band or something.
From the small pic, I'm like, hey, that looks like Papa Pete.
Yeah, almost.
From the little picture, I mean, like when you see this little thumbnail.
Yep.
Here's some gameplay areas. How much was set up where people could just sit down and try out games? Was there a good amount of that?
That I wouldn't even know because I didn't have a chance to even.
Oh yeah, you never made it out.
Yeah,
I've seen some computers, some different consoles.
Yeah, in the main event,
they dressed up.
Yeah, and I didn't know they had a fur baby.
Yeah,
I would have made time to go.
You see Papa Pete, now you see a cat.
Yeah, I lost all my kitties last fall.
Oh,
yeah,
all of them.
All of them, 1, 2, 3, within a month and a half, all for different reasons too.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So let's see. I know I had pointed out. Let's see here. It'll come.
My wife has this Mario hat now. She's gonna wear it when we go to the local shows.
Oh yeah, Cappy. Yeah, from Mario Odyssey.
Yep. Ken.
Oh yeah, Ken, of course, from Street Fighter 2.
Yep. And that looks like it's not a wig, it's his real hair.
Might very well be, yeah.
There are a lot of pictures.
Yeah. Again, they
You
have
think
like
with that many people in a smaller event, maybe the picture was blurry or something they took. You think they would
it could have been. Maybe it
they
wasn't.
would have posted
No.
all of them. I mean, some of these you got like 8 pictures of the same thing.
Yeah. You know what I do have though? I could probably dig it up. I do have a picture of myself from when I was demoing the I didn't have the physical release, but when I just had released Melody Blaster 2 and I was playing on an actual music synth. So there's a shot of my face and my hands right on the music synth. And I knew where my fingers were on the keyboard that I was playing Linus and Lucy.
You should be able to present it if you
Well,
have
yeah,
it
well,
there.
it's on my phone.
Oh,
But
okay.
that was from like last October, like a year and a half ago. Let me see if I can get it over. But yeah, basically, so I don't have any of my own pictures. What we see on this page is all we got.
All the
Let me
events.
see here.
Hey, Poe, look at this guy.
Oh yes, yeah, Wario. Wario is like one of my favorite.
Tubular guy right here.
Yeah. Let me see if I can dig it up and see if there's some way I can send it over.
A lot of
And it's
people
like-
dressing up for a small
Yeah.
event.
Yeah, the Princess Peach one was really good. The costume itself,
one?
really good quality. Yeah, that was a really good quality costume. She came by at one point. But yeah, the costume itself is actually really good quality. Let's see here.
If you're gonna do that and go to a lot of shows, you
here
should
it
have a
is.
good quality costume. That way it lasts.
Let's see if there's. I know what I can do. I'll send this to you in Messenger. That's my way I can get it to you.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not too big because it's a very large image.
Just let me know when it's gone through and I'll see if I can bring it up.
Let's see here. All right. I think it's gonna. Yeah, I can't just send the file.
It's too
over.
big.
Well, we'll see. It's 15.5 megabytes, but we'll see. So I'm gonna copy it to where it'll just.
Oh,
pick up.
that should go through no problem.
Cool. All right. Let me just now. What's it called?
And they took a
There
ton
it
of pictures.
is. Yeah. Yeah, because again, they have like the one staff member is
Here's
just
some
taking
vendors.
pictures the whole time. Really high quality pictures. Let's see if this will show up right now in the gallery. No, that would have been too easy. All right. Let's keep trying.
Catch up on. AF sounds like a good one for a sequel. Yes.
Oh
yes.
yeah, that would be a good one. Let's see.
Mike always has ideas.
Oh yeah. Certainly.
Pequeño Papa Pete. Papa Peach.
Okay.
Get the rest of it. I love whenever there's people there selling art, even more so whenever
Yeah.
it's game related to stuff I like. But
Actually, the one thing I was saying was there's a lady with glasses on selling melty bead pixel art.
oh yeah, my wife's done some of that stuff.
Yeah. But she was right next to me, which is why I said if I was in this list at all, I would have been in the pictures next to hers. Oh, you're at the bottom. Okay.
Yep, finally made it to the bottom.
Let me keep trying. I'm going to get this one picture over to you. And not that. Okay. I haven't run out of ideas here. It's technology. Let's see.
And I'm having a brain fart on the Electronite game that I was thinking of. Oh my gosh. The one that's similar to Bosconian. For some reason,
Oh,
I can't
Star
think of the name.
Mercenary. That would be a real
Star
good
Mercenary.
Star Mercenary right there. Yes.
Another good one, at least in my book.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
That is a long way for me. I am West Coast, sir. I am going to RGX in June. I worked last weekend. There was a local game swap, which was maybe a little smaller than what Michael went to this last weekend. PRGE in October. There's a couple other small shows that I plan to attend. I still haven't even posted pictures and videos from beginning of April from the Midwest Gaming Classic. I've been working every day to help pay for that trip, and I just haven't had time. I do this weekly show, and sometimes I'm a guest on someone's channel, and that's all I've had time to do.
All right, I managed to get that picture over to you via Messenger.
Okay. Let me see. I have to... I don't leave my personal one on because that thing will ding the whole show.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll take me 1 second here, and I'll pop it up.
Let's see. But yeah, so I kept busy most of the time. Fortunately, there were chairs because on my feet, after a while, being on my feet the whole time, just like, oh, I got to sit down. But,
Save image.
But yeah, again, it's always great because then you get the people that, will just hang around with you for like an hour just because they're so entranced by seeing somebody that's just so passionate about something so old.
It's getting to the point where it's just like people just love seeing it.
Yeah. And you never know what's going to click for who. Like, even at one point, yep, there we go. Yep, so that was, and you can also see I had on my tablet, I was running Rev's Bad Apple at the time.
I see Rick Dynamite, one of my favorite games.
Yes. Yeah. There's something about
Electronite game right here.
Yep.
Pandora Incident, it looks like, but it's...
Oh, no, that's, I'm trying to think of... There's Stop the Express over there, Rick Dynamite, and then I'm trying to make out what that is.
I'm just looking at the top.
Yeah.
It's a little blurry.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, the funny thing is, every time I put on, Deckel's Bad Apple, it never fails to attract attention. Yeah, so anytime I need to when things start slowing down a bit, I'll put on Bad Apple.
People are interested in
Paddle Party.
Around.
That's what it is.
Paddle Party, okay.
Yeah, and I do have a copy of Paddle Party too, also. But let's see. So, yeah, and I did have I sold a couple of copies of Tale of Dragons and Swords. I demoed that because I bought the ROM too when I bought the game. I bought the game and the ROM image, so I had it on my LTO Flash, and I put that on, and people are just like, "Wow, that's like NES quality graphics right there."
Definitely.
That, and I put on because I have the encrypted ROMs for Anthropomorphic Force, TNT Cowboy, Ninja Odyssey. So I'll play those on my LTO Flash, and those always, again, and with the IntelliVoice for AF, people are just like, "Oh my gosh, I'm playing this on an Intellivision. Like, this is unbelievable."
Yeah, it's incredible what can be done these days. That's for sure.
And TNT Cowboy, that's always a perennial favorite because it's like, hey, Bomberman, and it's an adventure.
Yes.
And
get to blow stuff
larger
up.
graphics.
It's a fun game.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten near into it that I need to, but it is a fun game.
I got to the end and then I died at the final boss or something. And I was just like, I have to go all the way through the level, the world 5 levels all over again. So
it's one of DJC's favorite games. He plays it a lot. Streaming.
It's great. Yeah. Let's see. And then also, somebody tried out Christmas Carol and what was it? Space Patrol. Yeah. So the good games.
That's another one I like. Early one.
Yeah. That's a really good one. So.
The other show, I know you've been to another one. It's the same one, just the bigger show. Were you like one that picture's from?
Oh yeah, that picture is from the main event in 2023. Yep, that's where I first again debuted. Now, what's beautiful about this one is right where my booth was. I was on the corner. Now
I remember
behind me, was the main artery. All the
A lot of
main traffic was coming, and as soon as you came into the dev area, I was right there, and my keyboard was facing the main artery. So you just see this big old 4-octave keyboard. So I had an entire box,
Mike's loads.
brand new box of 500 business cards, and I got them all out.
Nice.
All 500 of my business
Location
cards.
matters at the event, so it really does.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I got like prime real estate that time. It was beautiful. And the fact it was of course the music synth was just drawing so many people over.
Yeah, you had everything set up. I remember, I think you came on the show, or I showed pictures or something of that one.
Yep.
And you had everything set up. There was games. You had all the different things set up going around. I remember you were on the corner booth.
Yes.
A lot of people came up and talked.
And also that show, the guy at the other end of my row was demoing Aquarius. So he came over and talked a bit. And you know what? Yeah. Because that was cool. Because again, you know, if the Intellivision doesn't get any love, well, the Aquarius really doesn't get any love.
Yeah, that wasn't even out very long.
Yeah, that just came and went, just like the ECS sort of did.
I remember when I found eBay in 98, I started buying all that stuff. And I remember when it was on its way, and I'm like, boy, I can't wait. This is going to be awesome. A computer version of Intellivision games. And I got it, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. It was funny because, again, some of the more popular Intellivision games, Mattel just went and ported to Aquarius. But again, I played...
and stripped down versions.
Yeah. Again, I bought a copy of Utopia, played it for about 5 seconds, and shut it off like, ooh, my childhood's been ruined.
Yep. I did the same. Then it was just shelf stuff.
Yeah.
William says, I remember the Mattel Aquarius being in the store for 3 months. I was not impressed by the system. That's why it only lasted that long. I don't remember ever seeing it. I was pretty young. I mean, I was only 5 when Intellivision came out. I don't remember ever seeing it. If I did, I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah. And I only knew about it because, again, I bought ECS from the INTV catalogs. And what they did was with the manual, they put a sticker over it saying, please disregard any references to Mattel Electronics or Aquaria. Oh, yeah. Yeah, one sticker said, disregard any references to Mattel Electronics. And then there was another sticker that said the Aquarius printer is no longer available. So that's the only way I even knew there was such a thing as Aquarius. But yeah, the one thing I was going to say too was, again, like I was saying, you never know what's going to click for who. On my PIDE-JL, one of the things I bundled with it was my ROM of Little Man Computer for Tutorvision. I put that on because I can play it, of course, in PIDE-JL. And wouldn't you know it, I get this couple of guys come over, and they were really interested in LMC. And I was going through like the different features. And then they were also interested in knowing more about the Python code that, of course, drives my front end. So I was showing them the Python code. And they were just like, holy cow, you wrote all... Yeah, I wrote all that Python code myself by hand. All of it. Yeah.
I'm not capable of such things, but I'm glad people like you are. Why don't you tell everyone about your front end? I know there's a lot of people that play ROMs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, again, I'm very proud of. And again, if Retro Bliss is still here, he'll tell you, because when he plays Intellivision, when he plays Intellivision on his license, he uses my front end because, again, JZINTV is the best emulator in terms of like accuracy and what peripherals are supported, things like that. But the reason why a lot of people don't use it is because it's all command line. So it's really basically by developers for developers. Well, as a stopgap, I wrote my own front end, but because my dev environment is on a Android tablet, Mike's Gaming Gala too uses it. So what I was trying to do was I was trying to find a way to make my dev environment more palatable. So I got into doing GUI development, and I thought I got to write a front end. And actually, in my dev environment, I have 2 front ends. The other one is for developing games. because then I can just pick a project, click on make, and it'll go through running, Inti Basic, and if there are no errors, then it'll assemble with AS 1600, and then again check for errors. And if no errors, then it'll just spit out the listing of the config file, just so you can watch the growth of the ROM as you're developing. But anyhow, so yeah, on my website, which again, there's a link in the comments here. I do have my front end. You can just download it for free because my tools are free. It's the games I sell. Now, the thing too is there's an extras subfolder in there. And one of the things I buried like some of my other Python projects in there, including my bump and jump level editor that I wrote a few years back, but also
I saw you playing with that on Twitch the other day.
Yeah, on Twitch, my Twitch live stream a few weeks ago, I was playing around with my own level editor, like, hey, check this out. But anyhow, yes. Oh yeah, that too.
I threw the website up in the chat again for anyone that missed
cool.
it earlier, so you don't have to go up and look.
So actually, probably one of my highlights of the show this weekend. Now, there's this one live streamer, another Twitch streamer. His name is Jack Attack DX. I'll put it in the chat because, yeah, all of you, any of you on Twitch ought to check him out. But he's from the local area, but he does. I could probably put the whole link, but yeah, that's his handle on Twitch and Instagram, most of his socials. But
Jack Attack DX.
He and I got to be really good friends. And one of his favorite games, he plays a lot of Mega Man X. Matter of fact, recently he did like some kind of like, mental health, like awareness benefit live stream, but he cosplayed as Dr. Light from Mega Man X. When he was like in his old age. But fortuitously, I just got done revising one of the other Python scripts I have buried in the X's folder is a password generator for Mega Man X because I reverse engineered the password because, as you probably already know, I also crack passwords just for the fun of it. I cracked the Dragon Warrior password or Dragon Quest password just because I could. Matter of fact, when I saw DJC playing it and it was like, hey, it's got a password, I bought a digital copy just so I could crack the password.
Did you post any of that? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, Mike's Gaming Gala actually. I sent him the document.
Yes,
and then
I
he
thought
did a video
about it.
Yeah, but again, I just did that for the fun of it because that's one of the things I do just for total. That's one of my big nerd hobbies is cracking video game passwords. So I cracked Mega Man X and posted, but I did a password generator Python program. So I showed it to Jack Attack, and he was very impressed. And I was like, "Cool, Jack Attack likes it. That's awesome." But yeah, because I found out that you actually can give yourself Hadouken from the Easter egg if you put in the right password. But there's also a cheat code you have to put in to make it stick. So I demoed it because I had my it's over there, but I had my Evercade EXP with me, which has a bunch of the Capcom games built in, and Mega Man X was one of them. So I used Mega Man X, actually punched in the password, and demoed, here's me shooting a Hadouken. And it's like, hey, look at that. But anyway, again, that made my day that he liked my Mega Man X password generator. I also did one for NES Guardian Legend because that password is ungodly. It's 32 characters long, has an alphabet of 64 characters. Ooh.
I wouldn't even know where to start. How do you do that? Do you just start?
Actually, funny, at the beginning of the show, somebody had asked if I would take some time to talk about some of that stuff. Again, I'll go on as long as you want. I don't care if I got to be up at 4 a.m. to another day at work.
We can't go that long, but just real briefly,
Of course. You want to talk about humble beginnings. Thing is, of course, my parents bought Intellivision. I was 5 years old in 1981. And it came with Astro Smash, Space Battle, and of course, Poker and Blackjack. But yeah, Fathom, that'll be later. You see, it's funny. I seem to be the only one who likes Fathom. I like Fathom. And of course, it helps if you actually know how to play. That's why I made a video on my YouTube channel of how to play Fathom.
By the way, welcome, Jeff. Good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, Fathom. Either that or Kool-Aid Man, of course. Matter of fact, I did put on my Twitch stream, if you redeem enough channel points, you can make me stop what I'm doing and just go play Kool-Aid Man instead. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so my parents bought Intellivision in 1981. I didn't find out till later. They bought it with the understanding that it was going to be expandable in a computer with the keyboard component.
KC, yeah.
So they bought it with that promise. I was entranced because, one, TV was now something you actually could interact with. You didn't just sit there and watch. And two, we were all taking turns playing Astro Smash first. And my uncle, who lived across the street from us, even came over, checked it out. We were all having a great old time. You know, the whole family loved it. And meanwhile, I was studying the box, and I was looking at the back of the box, and he had 2 or 3 dozen screenshots of different games. And what really got me, now it's, again, kind of hard not to get philosophical here, but I'm looking at each of these screenshots as all different universes. And more specific, so it's like you could jump from one universe to another. So we had Astro Smash, which was one of these universes, then Space Battle. Those are the two I think we'd seen at that point. So I'm studying the box, and I think I pointed at Checkers and said, hey, let's play this game next. And my dad's telling me, well, we don't have that game. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, but it's just and I'm thinking, all right, these games, these universes were created by somebody. More specifically, it's probably somebody in a cubicle in an office somewhere doing this for a living. And at the age of 5, I said, that's it. That's what I'm going to do for a living. I'm going to make Intellivision games. And I tell people this thing. One of the big life principles is when you plant your flag, you can't take it back. That's it. So in spite of the crash, in spite of my parents changing their attitude about Intellivision, going from loving it to hating it, in spite of all the blowback from teachers, other adults, in spite of being the unpopular kid in school, getting all bullied all the time, nothing could stop me because I already made my mind up. I already planted my flags from wanting to write Intellivision games. So that was it. So that's why in the late 90s, here I am going on to graduate school, and I had my old Intellivision library website and kept trying to motivate people. We got to get an indie scene going. And a matter of fact, let's see. Nope, I've got Oscar's other. No, wait, no, I'm wrong. I've got Oscar's books right here. I can just get to this one. Yeah, this one. So, advanced game programming for Intellivision. All right. Did you read the foreword? Joe B. wrote.
I didn't buy it because I can know how to program. I bought it to get a copy and put it on the shelf.
Okay, so the footnote here, right in the foreword.
Coming in.
I don't know if you. Yeah. So what?
Let me.
That's cool. It's cool. Anyway.
There we go.
Okay, right in the foreword, there's a footnote here because again, what I was doing was I was translating everything from Oscar's books to sound like fluent English. But anyway, yeah, in the foreword, Joe Bijak had given me credit for being the one to really spearhead the indie scene in the first place. And it's just cool. That's the kind of third-party validation I like. I mean, that's just like when, any of the Blue Sky Rangers I get a chance to talk to. One time on AtariAge, Mark Kennedy himself came onto AtariAge and asked, hey, can you hack Kool-Aid Man to freeze the thirsties? So I took a crack at it. But that was cool. And then, I still know about how, I do all my ROM hacks in just straight up disassembly. And Mark Kennedy's words were, I don't envy you. Because, yeah, he, of course, would know just how crazy that is to be looking at somebody else's disassembly and trying to do ROM hacks. But, well, funny we talk about Slim Jims here. Actually, my wife and I grabbed turkey not a slim, different brand, but we both got whatever turkey ones on the way back home tonight before the show. But anyway,
So tell everyone, like, what games have you hacked?
oh yeah, a bunch. They're on my way. I've even lost count, dozens upon dozens, and they're on my website. But
the website that we posted a link to earlier, maybe just give us a quick, what can you find there, like game hacks?
One thing I can tell you is, Vectron is where I started because, see, I got Vectron for my 8th birthday, and oh boy,
I still can't play it.
As a kid, I could not get far into that game at all. And then I picked it up again for the first time when I was like in my senior year of college. And now I can make it all the way to level 6. Oh boy, only 93 levels to go. Well, I actually post because I had pre-recorded. I actually made it to level 11 a couple of years back and even activated the Easter egg. And I was just playing the unhacked version, and then I posted that. That's also my YouTube and I think Rumble channel as well. But I started with Vectron to see if I could disable the nasties. And I did, because what I did was, is I tweaked one of the exec variables to only use the first 4 sprites, which got rid of all the nasties entirely. Like they just weren't even there. Later on, I went back and changed it so that you still see the nasties, but they don't interact at all. They don't tear down your base. They don't vaporize your energy block. They don't pollute the energy packs. You can't shoot them either, but who cares? But that's what I did. I hacked Vectron to make it easier. As in the only thing you have to worry about is running out of energy. That's it. So it's kind of like a trainer. Like you can actually figure out how to play without being hindered.
That sounds like something I need.
Well, it's out there for the taking on my website. So where I was going here is, so I get into college, still wanting to program games. And now I know Willie had read, because this was posted at one point. Now it's just gone. And I can't even find an Internet Archive. But I got off to a false start my senior year where I was, a bunch of us, there was like a team of us trying to write just a game. And I thought, I'd not try to bite off more than I could chew. I thought I'd just write the sound engine. And we were using DirectX 5. This was in March of 1998. And I was working with the Direct Sound API and debugged it to hell and back. And all the variables looked good, but I just could not get sound effects. And I finally gave up in disgust. And it wasn't actually, it was at last October's Retro Game Con where I was talking to a lady, young lady who was a software developer, and told me, you do know that Microsoft APIs are notorious for not working as advertised. And that's when it finally clicked. Oh, it might not have been my fault that I couldn't get the sound working. It was the stupid API's fault. Well, boy, don't I feel better now, almost 25 years later. Better late than never. Yes. And actually, I do have a Kool-Aid Man game in mind. I'm just putting that out there. When I'm ever going to get to it, who knows? But yes, I do have a.
How many projects are you working on currently, or have ideas for?
Way too many. Way too many. I really should.
Everything gets a little bit of time. Do you kind of start and do a piece at a time for all of them, or do you kind of, I'm going to do one and then do the next?
Really, I just like to crank out one at a time, soup to nuts, because that's the only way anything's going to get done. If you start taking on too many projects, forget it. You're toast. Yeah. Because you're
sometimes
never going
to get bored of a certain one after they work on a lot, or they get stuck, so they'll work on something else.
Yeah. See, I know I put out Jamrati. I'm trying to get Jamrati released, and we found a few bugs, so I'm trying to get that patched up. But again, I just have to sit down and actually do it. Meanwhile, there's, again, so many other projects. But again, I really ought to prioritize Jamrati. and get that done because it's already pretty much a finished game. It just couple bugs got to be fixed. Now you got to beef up the other game, Gold Digger, that's on there. But yeah, that's a killer. And of course, the fact I'm working. Oh yes, I think you were the one who's. Yeah, it's definitely not the money because there ain't no money in this. Really? Yeah. Now fame, actually, I'd lean more on the fame side. I was kind of getting into like, philosophical stuff, but really it was at one point when I had this, grand epiphany. What is immortality? Like, for example, we all know who, say, Albert Einstein is. We all know who Beethoven is, right? So did we ever meet them? No. But then there were a lot of people living today who we've never met and never will meet. Well, de facto immortality is the fact we know what they've done. We know their works. We know what Beethoven has accomplished in his lifetime. We know what Einstein has accomplished in his lifetime. Many of the great, whatever. So me getting out Intellivision games is my stake at de facto immortality, really. Yeah, it is pure passion, really. And the thing too, I know I use the word fortuitous here, but the fact I stuck with Intellivision is here I am, a relatively big fish in a small pond. See, you can write a game for a mainstream platform and it gets buried in this ocean of thousands of other indie projects that nobody's ever going to play. So I'm kind of glad I don't even bother going with mainstream and just stick to Intellivision.
And we're happy you do.
Yeah, so that's really it. That's why to this day I still eat, sleep, and breathe Intellivision. And I said if I was ever going to go into anything like after Nintendo took over and INTV was done, I did move on to Nintendo, but I also moved on to Atari Lynx, and I have really fond memories of Atari Lynx games. But would I ever want to develop for it? Maybe not. I'd rather just stick with Intellivision, honestly.
I second that.
Yeah. Because there's so many more projects I still have yet to do. There is no way I'm going to get to them all in my lifetime.
I could use 2 of me and still be behind.
Well, that too. I'd said it wouldn't hurt if there were 3 of me because one could take care of my wife and one could work and make the paycheck. And then the third of me
program.
The third of me could just be freed up to program. Yeah, actually, that's the sick is what would I write for Lynx? See, the thing about the Lynx was the Lynx had mode 7 on a 1989 handheld system. Like we're talking about it almost 2 years before the release of the North American SNES. So and of course the launch games, because Epix developed the Lynx originally and then didn't have the money. So they first approached Nintendo, but Nintendo turned it down because they were working on Game Boy. But then they went to Atari and Atari picked it up. But the early Lynx games were made by the same engineers who, of course, knew their own hardware. So you look at games like Blue Lightning is basically arcade afterburner on a color handheld with mode 7 in 1989. It was mind-blowing. Electrocop, again, you've got a heavy use of mode 7 to simulate a 3D environment, which, again, admittedly, it was more like a tech demo in search of a real game, but what an amazing tech demo for 1989. I like to think that if I do have some of the early homebrews for the Lynx, like Lexus and like Simus and Ponks, some of those, and some that should have been released but got released by Telegames, like in the mid-90s. But anyhow, so yeah, the thing about the Lynx was I was already spoiled for mode 7. The decomposing joke. I've heard that one. Yeah, and Chip's Challenge. Oh my gosh. The whole family, we had a ball with Chip's Challenge for like probably a good year or two. And that was before I found out about the Mandelbrot Easter egg. And then that just kind of fired a few synapses. Again, I went total nerd mode. That's what got me into, that was one of the big things that got me into like wanting to crack codes just for the fun of it in high school. Was like Mandelbrot, and then Zarla Mercenary had the Conway's Game of Life Easter egg. Again, that was another like, that was another like total nerd hobby kind of thing. But yeah, up until it wasn't until 1993 I had an actual PC. Up until then, my only computer was that silly ECS, and trying to write games with only 2K of RAM. So you're limited about 90 to 100 lines of code. Good night, Mike. Yes.
Night, Mike. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Yep.
Say hi to Michelle.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah. So anyway, I know I kind of went off in a few different directions here, but yeah. So
it's all good.
But yeah. But talking to Mark Kennedy about hacking Kool-Aid Man, that was awesome. One time, because when the Miko was still going to be a thing, one time Tommy Tallarico just showed up on Papa Pete's show one time, unannounced. And we were having a conversation, but he just off the fly just asked, "Oh yeah, who programmed Shark Shark?" But I put it in the chat, and then Tommy saw that and said, "Oh yeah, I knew Mike would know." I was like, "Cool." Not only that, but on my Instagram page is an action shot just before Blix and Chocolate Mine got released. There's an action shot of Tommy Tallarico holding it up, and he's all excited, and they're like, "Hey, that's cool. That's my kind of third-party validation." That, and I shared this a couple times, and I know this is gonna sound kind of funky, but one time I had a dream, because I had shared one time, really what I'd like to do is again appear at the pearly gates of heaven and just be able to ask Keith Robinson, did I earn my seat among the next generation Blue Sky Rangers? Because I swear, now I can't find it on Wayback Machine, but I swear that when the Blue Sky Rangers was taking pre-orders for the Magus 2, remember that breadboard development system? There was a blurb that they were going to recognize next generation Blue Sky Rangers. And I said, this is my chance. This is my chance to make a name for myself. Be recognized officially as a next generation Blue Sky Ranger. So, but I had a dream one time, like that it was like a parade or something, but I was neither indoors nor outdoors, if this makes sense. And it was a parade, and at the front was Keith Robinson. And I'm standing there, and I'm like a few feet away from him. And I'm like, "Hey, Keith." And he just kind of looks to me and just grins and gives this kind of lazy half wave and keeps going. He's just like dressed in his typical, like, Hawaiian shirt.
Yep.
And so like, that's all I needed to know. But yeah, that drives me. It's just keep going to say, I want to know, did I earn my place? So yeah, to hear from people like Mark Kennedy, and now what's happening most recently, I'm going to assume it's okay to share this, but the programmer for Airstrike. Now, see, way back in 2001, I think it was, Joe Beachak and a couple of us had started a Yahoo mail list called INTV Prague. And then, of course, AtariAge, and we kind of let INTV Prague kind of go, but yeah, Air Raid. Or no, I'm sorry, not Air Raid, Airstrike. Airstrike.
Oh, Airstrike. I thought you said Air Raid.
I probably did. I meant to say Airstrike. Airstrike for Intellivision. That was one of the games I think it was supposed to have been part of what would have been 5-in-1 Arcade before it became Triple Action. Airstrike, I meant to say. But anyhow, so
you might have. It might have been me.
Yeah. Of course, it's on the Intellivision Live CD-ROM. But anyhow, so the developer of Airstrike originally came on and said, "Hey, does anybody with, guess what, ROM hacking skills want to help me reproduce the terrain generation algorithm?" And I'm like, "Hey," and then somewhere in the mail list, he kind of threw it out there. Maybe what I should do is start a Discord. And we all agreed, yes, let's start a Discord for this. So now we got a Discord going, where, I shared some of, my resources and whatnot. But again, it's one of the original developers. So I'm all too happy to have a chance to talk to one of these guys. Another thing too, I didn't know there was like some kind of Southern California computer, like retro computer con, like last February, I think it was. But
The
60
SoCal...
original, yeah, SoCal, yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah,
but
and they had Blue Sky Rangers.
Yeah, 6 of them.
I wanted to go so bad. I knew that was there, but I forget what we had. We had something big planned that weekend already, and I couldn't go.
Yeah. If I could be in that room with, Dave Warhol, Mark Kennedy, Mark Urbaniak, Steve Ettinger,
Met him.
Oh yeah, of course. He came on, and I did talk to him briefly because when he was on during the Chip Shot Super Pro golf tournament you were having, I put in the chat, "Hey, am I right that?" Because he started talking about Body Slam Super Pro Wrestling, so I asked, "Am I right that the character Beach Bum Barney is actually Keith Robinson?" And he said yes. It's like, all right, cool. Yeah, because I figured Beach Bum Barney had to have been Keith Robinson. Turned out it is, and you heard it, right from the horse's mouth.
Yep.
So that was
awesome.
Would know. But yeah, I would love to sit down with Dave Warhol, particularly in Mark Ettinger. Now, Mark Urbaniak, well, he's the guy who wrote Vectron, so I hacked your game.
One of these days, I'm going to have to learn how to play it. All the original gameplay videos for the 125, I'm down to just, so many, and most of it's because I don't know how to play them.
Fathom.
Vectron, I'm going to have to somehow make like a 5-minute video. I'm going to have to learn enough to
again, I have a video post. You can just go watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to do that.
But the flying part is the way you start on. The flying part's the hardest part. Once you master flying, and once you have some idea what you're supposed to be doing, it's not terrible. Again, I love the surrealism, and I keep saying it's too bad iMagic stopped doing those giant centerfold pictures in the instruction manuals, because the one for Fathom would have been gorgeous. You can just imagine all this surreal imagery. You would have had like a shipwreck. You would have had sort of poster. I forget what the name of the. It's not MC Escher, but there's that one artist who's famous for doing like you see like a transition effect where one animal morphs into another. Usually it's like a but I have like one of those big sliding squares puzzles of one of those images, but you could picture like sort of like a morphing image of like a seagull becoming a dolphin or vice versa. A nice pretty mermaid or something. Not that creepy one with the glowing red eyes behind jail bars that you see on the box. But yeah, flying's the hardest part in that game. Once you're good at flying and not getting hit by those vultures, and again knowing what to do, it's not that bad of a game.
I can't even remember the last time I turned that game on and tried to figure it out. It's been years.
Yeah. Blockade Runner. I actually played that on my live stream like last Friday, and I was so tired. I couldn't even get past the mines. I felt like an idiot. I used to be really good at that game.
I was never really good at it, but I know how to play that one at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terribly complicated. It's a kind of a rail space shooter.
Yep.
Just know to hold up, save your missiles for the mines and don't miss, because you only get so many mines. And don't ever miss the ice crystals.
I played that one as well.
Yeah.
Well, you want to do a collector's minute? I got gameplay
totally
and that one last thing, and it's something that people have seen, but I know there's probably some people in here that haven't seen it. So let me switch over here. Let me make it bigger. I'm on full screen. Is it this one? Yes. So the collector minute, for those of you that haven't seen it, I wanted to show off one of the rarest things for Intellivision.
Oh,
third one known to exist. Tutor Vision.
I am so jealous.
Oh, I'm jealous. I own it. It's like I still can't believe every time I see it. I'm like, it wasn't a dream.
Again, but I just want to know if Little Man Computer works on original hardware.
I know we need to do that. Like I said,
Yeah.
Michael, I've been working 7 days a week, a lot of weeks. I'm older, but I've got younger kids. I haven't even been doing RC racing. It's been work, home life. I've been doing some mess with my kid at school. He's switching new schools tomorrow. In fact, a lot of times I'm hours helping him with his homework. The good thing about the new school is they do everything there and there's no homework. And then here is the one cart I have.
Shapes in
Space.
Yep.
Yeah, I do have a lot of the software that I'll be able to load. Do these work on LTO?
I wouldn't know. They should. Because the menu, you can specify this ROM, requires tutor vision. For example. So it should work.
For retro's sake, I didn't see you sneak in there. Just a lot of Intellivision nerdery today, a little bit of gameplay. We're going to get to some gameplay here in a few. You guys can make fun of me. Yes, that's sexy. It is. Third one known to exist. And I got it because one guy who sent me a message and my jaw literally, like DJC, if you guys have seen that, the jaw dropper shirt where his jaw's on the ground. When I open that up, I'm like, what? And I look, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is a tutor vision. No way. And I was nervous the whole time. And when that auction was coming to an end, I'm not usually bidding on stuff on Goodwill. And this was Chicago area. And my heartbeat was going boom, 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 like 100 miles an hour as that ended. And I'm not even going to say what I bid, but it was a lot. And I'm so grateful that it went nowhere near that because none of the real collectors saw it. So I'm like, thank God, because I would have wanted almost anything anyone put, and I didn't want to pay that, but I was going to take it.
Yeah. Again, what I really want to see is I want to see the other games because again, there's 3 of the original games have been rescued from the sands of time.
Yeah, drill it and mod it. So I do have software. I am working, although barely even started. I'm going to make a tutor vision video. I'm going to have my story in it, all the information. I'm going to have, I don't know if you call it gameplay on some of it. I'm going to have software play, go through all the history, different pictures. I'm going to take it apart and show inside. I am going to eventually get that video out. It's just things are slowing down. I'm about to start a house add-on. Like I need any more things to take my time. But eventually I'm going to get a cool video out on the tutor vision. I'm going to have guests on to talk about, different things. And I'm going to hopefully do a video on the guy that sent me the link. So that's eventually someday going to be a thing. And I hope to show all the different software and games. So, all right. Holy crap. We're already like 2 hours in almost. That's insane. That went by fast. I want to do some gameplay. I don't know how much time some people came late. They might still want to watch, but I've watched it dropped off because it starts getting late. Like, for you guys over there, it's already 11 o'clock. Papa Pete time would be midnight. Good gosh.
Well, I was going to say, I didn't think to, well, I know I talked about PIDEJL, but I could possibly, anyway.
I wasn't saying no to you. If you saw it, Eric said, "Can you start over?" I'm like, "You can start over."
Sure. Yep.
In a little bit here, I'm going to do some gameplay, and then it's like 7 o'clock. By the time I play like another hour or so, do some gameplay for whoever wants to stick around. It's going to be late. I'm getting hungry.
That too.
For me, it's like an hour past dinner time, but normally I've been trying to get done in like 2 hours, which is part of the reason to do it 5. So people on the East Coast are still awake and I don't have to go half the night without eating.
Yep. I was about to say.
I was going to play a few versions of some upcoming games. I'm assuming it's still okay to play these. I haven't been told not to. And I always do. I'll show you guys everything I can, but I definitely hold secrets and I definitely don't play things if I'm not supposed to. But if I've been playing them already and I haven't been told I shouldn't, then I keep going. So I'm gonna play a little bit of Mr. Do. I don't have the final version. I have something close. I'm gonna play Astro Smash Deluxe, and I was gonna maybe play a little bit of Naughty Boy, but I have a couple other games too, and I'm pretty sure I could show all those as well. I was gonna do some from Rev, but I couldn't find, what is it, Mermaid? I couldn't find my game for that, so we're not gonna show that one. He gave me permission to show it a long time ago, but I couldn't find the ROM. So, yep, no. Oh, I've played most of this stuff before. I've already talked about it, so I don't show anything I'm not supposed to. So let's go ahead and get some of this going here. I don't have any regular controllers. We're gonna, again, I'm gonna try both of these. I've got OG Ugo's early version of an Intellivision controller. It's 8-way. And then I also have an 8-bit DOE. I have a prototype adapter, which will be coming out soon. And that's also going to be the light gun. And it lets you use controllers. Well, I bought all these little adapters and figured out on the prototypes, there's a lot of versions of controllers like this that will work. So it basically gives you wireless, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of wires everywhere down here, and it's nice to have something wireless. Oh boy. I really need to send this back. I got it all messed up and... Oh. Stay. All right, let's switch over here. Gameplay. Which one is it? All right. I don't know if that screen's going to work. I might have to... You'll be there, but... Okay, Super Pro Beauty and the Beast. These are some that were... I've showed that before. That's still being finished up. It was trying to be released at PRGE, and they've done a lot of stuff, adding a lot over this version. I can't wait for it. It's going to be a fun game. Find the first one. Here's light gun demos. You guys have seen me talk about that. Huck Dunt, Princess Lighty. I have I need to get the new version of it. I don't want to show this one. Pumpkin Attack. Eventually we're going to get to something. There it is. It's called Astro Smash 2, but it's Astro Smash Deluxe, I think. Let me use OG Ugo's controller. I forgot what... Oh, what are we doing here? So there's two versions, and I actually forgot what it was. Let me know how the volumes are. I can turn the game volume down a little bit if need be. It's loud for me. Might not be loud for you guys. So this is a version of Astro Smash. There's actually two versions on this, and I forgot how to switch. The first one is just you play like a normal game. Just looks a little bit different. There's another version that actually has an upgrade system, which is really cool. I hope this eventually sees the light of day, because adding upgrade elements to a game that I loved as a kid and make it a little more complicated, I love that. I'll have to reset and figure out how to get to that version, because this is just going to be a straight up Astro Smash game. I guess I need to figure out where hyperspace is. Oh no. I'm trying to find hyperspace. It's not working. Volume's fine. Okay, perfect. Eventually, I'm going to get the setup with the virtual cam where I have the sound going through the computer and I can tune it in. I don't have that set up yet. I have everything to do it, except the free time. No free time. Without hyperspace, I have to be tricky with those guys. My high score on Astro Smash when I was young, I mean early 20s maybe. 800 and something thousand. Somewhere I have a picture. I can't get anywhere near that these days. I got old. But I do have a picture, and I still have the TV. I can't remember the exact score, but it was 800 and something thousand. And that's insane, and it took forever. All right, let's reset. Now, I can't remember how to move it. My gosh, what did I do? There is a way to move it over Astro Smash Deluxe, and I cannot remember what it is. Let me catch up on chat here. More tornadoes. Oh, Kurt, hopefully everyone's okay, buddy. I've never had to deal with anything like that. Extreme heat's all we have here, at least where I live. Hopefully you stay safe, sir. Yeah, nasty stuff. Man, I don't know if it's because I don't have the regular controller. I'm pushing like, there we go. Astro Smash Ultimate. Now let's get it started. So this should be the upgrade. It's not completed, but a lot of it's here. We'll know in a second here. I think I'm on the right one. We'll be able to show you what that looks like in a second. There we go. So wave one complete. You play each one for so long. No loss bonus, $500. Shield bonus, $918. Wave bonus, $750. And you work on that percentage that you've got on the right. And now, I don't need a keypad. You can upgrade shields, your offensive capabilities. You get so long. You see the timer counting down in the bottom. We see one, take offensive repair. So shields, I'm going to repair them. Maybe I'm not. It's running off the one controller, which I don't have a keypad. But normally, it's that 91%, I believe, is the shield. Of all the times I don't have a regular controller hooked up. Which one is this? Let's do this one more time. I'm going to switch. Sorry for the flicker. I'm going to switch. Of course. It's a game you have to have the keypad to do the upgrades. Oh, don't start doing that. I sent one of my consoles to Russ and Caleb. I was testing the IntelliPort. So they wanted the console and all the details, and they've fixed it. And eventually I'll get my other console back. Now I don't know what I did to... Oh my gosh. I can't be doing this on YouTube. heck? Technical difficulties. Where'd the other plug go? I can't remember how the heck I switched the game. Oh, that's horrible. Let me do this. That should work. Can't get it. How in the world did I do that? No. Oh, I give up. So you're supposed to be able to switch it over from Astro Smash Deluxe to the other one that you saw briefly. And you go round by round. Your shield goes down. You have to upgrade your shield. When you get down to 0, the game's over. So it becomes like, what am I going to do? Am I going to upgrade? Am I going to fix my shield? Sometimes you don't have enough money to do everything. And it adds some cool elements to Astro Smash. So both of those versions come on that one. Let's try the next game. Oh, then there's this one that was released. It wasn't supposed to be released. It was made. You might recognize the menu. Now, the last game we played isn't in this one, but you've got Astro Smash, the competition version, Super Pro Astro Smash, Super Pro Meteor, Meteor, Astro Meteor, Space C, and Space C 2. Some of Poe's favorite games. So let's show the ones that maybe you guys haven't seen. Super Pro Astro Smash. You can pick how many points you want to start at. So let me show you what it looked like. Oh, 800,000. This is what it looked like when I was near the end of my game. I don't have hyperspace. So as you can see, this is just insanely fast. I really need hyperspace. It's also very hard to start on this level without working up. And this is what happens when you get up here. You better have like hundreds of men and just slowly start going down. All right, SP Meteor. We're just going to do 100. 10,000. So this is the one that was pretty much like asteroids. Whatever way I'm holding, I have to hold it. It's aiming, and you've got thrust. And then, let's see. That's Super Pro, Astro Smash. Or no, that was Meteor. Let's go the regular Meteor. The only difference between Super Pro, David Harley made it where you could basically start on any level you want by adjusting how many points you have. It did a reset on me there. What else? Astro Meteor. I don't even know what this one does. I'm not sure what that one is, the difference. Might as well show this one. Intellivision. It gives you a menu to choose between Astro Smash Game 1 and Meteor. Okay. Intellivision got the different things there. I still have no hyperspace. There it goes. So you can see what I'm shooting out of and what I'm shooting. Basically, it's an office joke way back by the Blue Sky Rangers. And, of course, it made it out into our hands, luckily. Let's try the second one. I think I know the difference, but there you go. This is the one I first remember seeing. Yeah, recognizers. Yep. I can't even tell what the heck's going to kill me. Maybe we'll play some of this with Poe on episode 69 as well after we play Beat 'em and Eat 'em. When we're playing it like that, I might as well do the gameplay. I don't think I've done the gameplay video for that yet. All right. Let me go to the bottom one. So this is the newest one I have. Mr. Doof, you guys have seen William is talking about it in some of the groups. It's going to be he's just taking people that are interested at the moment. Soon he's going to be taking orders. Looks and sounds fabulous. On all those posts, I see a lot of people looking to get this game already. Oh, I don't want to kill it yet. Give me the letter. Oh, I thought I had it. That was dumb. Oh, and then I did that. Come here. Two bad mistakes. They can only do so much with the graphics. It's real enough where you know what it is, especially with what you see shooting out of it. Already digging. I need to get a few of these guys before... Ah! Let them dig through. I'll try to get to the extra man screen. It's not super easy to do. There's the X, just need ET. Uh-oh. Not that way. tried to do the quick turn. Wasn't going to happen. DJC Game Studios, what's going on? Playing a little bit of Mr. Do. I'm not doing very well, but I'm trying to show the extra man screen. See if I can get there. Come on. Move! Now we need it. One more. It looks to be stuck. Warming up for Astro Smash Mondays. It's Astro Smash, but it's not Mondays anymore. We help him get warmed up a lot, don't we, Chuck? He's been a little toasty here lately. I think the last time I donated like $50 or $60. But we had a lot of fun. And he still can't beat my score in Super Pro Beauty and the Beast. Ah! Every time I see him trying to beat my score, I just pay for some shots. Take one. What are you talking about? Take one, Mr. Do? We only need an E. We should be able to do it. Uh-oh. Couldn't do it. I'm gonna try. Just need an E. Come on. Oh. What the heck? Yeah, we got you toasty, didn't we, Chuck? Oh, that E's hard to get. We're almost my high score, you can see there. They're already digging. No! It's the only way I could try to get out. Wasn't quick enough. Come back. Ah. Hopefully I can make it. I'm definitely at my high score. Can get all the cherries too and end it that way. Seems like forever we're just trying to get the E. There it is. Oh, come on, baby. I'll move on if we get it. There we go. Finally. That looks fabulous. All right, Mr. Do, definitely put a post. You know, all the Intellivision Facebook groups. It's coming. It's coming. I don't know what else. I don't think I can bowl or anything else with this guy here. What else can we play? We'll do one game of bowling if it'll let me. 1-0. I definitely miss the bowling league. It's a lot of fun to bowl with all the guys. For some reason, I have this new one figured out. Let's try. I'm playing with only 8 direction, though. That's the... What are the keys? Definitely might prove to be harder whenever you don't have the disc. See if I can get it figured out. Grab the ball. Straight ball I can do. There it is. See if I can get that strike ball. Trying diagonal, which is the only one I've got. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to hit my strike ball with this. You need 16 directions. Oops. Thank you, Michael. All you guys missed was one spare and can't hit my strike ball. On my side, I see it. Unless I go to the other screen. Yeah, I can't get my strike ball without a real controller. Which game? How about me and Creep for shot for Homebrew? Ah, I would watch that. Trying to move this around and see if I can find a strike ball with 8-way joystick. I don't know what I did. If I have it down here, I do, unless that's the broken one. All right. Flip over real quick. This is going to bug me. Man, that is getting touchier. Now we will share. We'll make that mistake again. Now I am bowling with an Intellivision 2 controller, which I don't mind. I actually find it easier. This one's all worn out, but still seems to work. I have yet to get a 300 in this version, but in the league, I think my high was like, oh man, I don't know what it was, 280 something, something like that. Can't find a strike yet. Chuck, if you're still in here, have you hit a 300 in this new version yet? It's so weird. Like this one, you can go for a little bit, find your strike ball, then you can start nailing a lot of them. But when you're off, you're off. It's like real bowling. That one looks good as far as my marks. Yeah. No, the new version's the one we were playing in the league. But we were the only ones that have that. I missed my mark, and you see what happens. Have you hit a 300 in the one we're playing in the league? Little bit off. I was somewhere in the 280s, but I think I was one strike off. Uh-oh. That's definitely off. Whew. So whenever you miss your mark, you can adjust on your amount of curve. That's what I do. And it's just a guess. I don't believe this version is coming out because it's just a slightly modified version of Striker. Which brings it under the unreleased versions, even though there's an older version. Oh, yes! That was a messy strike, but I'll take every strike I can get. Right through it. Did you have bowling, Michael? Funny thing, I grew up a bowler. The height of my youth career, I went to the state championships. Never had bowling on Intellivision. Woo! On the original or the homebrew?
The original.
Oh, come on. Oh, are you kidding me? $184. All marks except for frame 5. Grandfather, it's not easy to figure out. For the longest time, I couldn't figure it out.
I remember how long it took us to figure out auto racing.
Oh, well, which version did you have?
The original.
No, I mean, like, which version of the steering? Because there's
two. Yeah, we had the realistic one, so you had to move left and right.
That's the one I had, and that's the one that I can still play. The other one, I have a hard time with.
Yeah, and...
Well, I don't know what you were doing, but I was kicking butt.
Yeah. Plus, we were trying to do it like it was intuitive, so we kept trying to press up to go north, and
That's the
Yeah.
other version.
yeah, exactly. But we didn't have that one.
I think that's all. I guess I could show this. Look how cool this is.
Hmm.
Now I forgot. There's a way I can, because I don't have the gun hooked up. I was hoping I could show. Apparently, I forgot how to do it. Give me a second. There's a way to do it with the controller for testing, and I haven't played it in so long I forgot. Darn it. Well, you can see based on how cool that duck looks, the game looks just as cool. It looks like you're playing on an NES pretty much. I cannot remember how to shoot. Darn it. I was hoping to show you guys that. Somewhere in my notes I have it. There's a way to hit 2 buttons and you time it just right. I wonder if it's the version I'm playing. Let me go back a little bit. That wasn't it. I can't remember which one I hit first. That's one I should have tried beforehand. All right. Let's play a little naughty boy. Don't let me forget to pop the screen back up. I don't like to... Does it sound low, Michael?
Yeah, it sounds a little low. I can barely hear it.
What about now?
That's good.
What's up, Aaron? Oh. Oh, I kept missing him. I have some rarer ones than Spiker, but they're homebrew. Spiker's the rarest of the 125. I don't know what this does. I go through it, but I don't know what it does. Stadium Mud Buggies, Learning Fun 1 and 2, Congo Bongo. Homebrews, it's probably like the first Ghostbusters, Smurfs, Jungle Hunt, some of the early ones. Really hard to get. Safe zone, okay. Ah, so I can go in there and just start shooting stuff and they can't get in there? I did not know that. Thank you, Jeff. There's that safe zone. Missing is not good. Oh, come on. What? Yeah, the pew pew. I'll be able to show you soon. I've played it before. You have to be set up with a CRT, and I just don't have that up here. But there's a way you can play it emulating the gun on the controller, and I just tried to do it, and I couldn't figure it out. I haven't done that way in so long. Oh! There are more than one. I think there's... Michael, how many carts were actually made? 2 or 3? Physical form for the Tutor Vision?
Michael? Oh, yeah, I was typing it in.
Oh, you can speak.
Yeah, there are the 3 that I know of. Because again, you got Shapes in Space, which is a math game.
Yep, and there are more. There's more software, but they weren't put on carts.
That's what I figured because they've never turned up.
There's more. I'll be showing a lot of stuff off.
Yep. Yeah, Matt Mazes is the other level 1. And then, of course, that level 2 one is Geographics.
I wish mine came with more than one, but I mean, I'm happy to have the one. That's for sure.
Yeah, and again, I'm glad that somebody salvaged Geographics because that's the only level 2 game that we've got so far.
I have no idea because all of it's so rare. I mean, these carts alone go for a ton of money.
Oh, yeah.
Believe me, if I have the opportunity, I'll be picking one up. My Tutor Vision that I have is I think it's a 3rd one known to exist, or that's been found. I don't know how many exist. Is there a timer in here? Oh, there is. Okay, so the timer is how long you can stay in the safe box. Thank you, Jeff. That will come in handy. There's not a lot of people that have actual knowledge, just stuff I've read from other people. I didn't even know the thing existed until, 2000? I remember when they were talking about the first one being found. I'm like, what the heck is that? Oh. There was a dragon. Get away from me. Oh! Yes. And I did buy one of those for multiple reasons. I still owe Michael a few videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember we were gonna see Deckel's Chippy. running on the Tutor Pro with the data recorder. I think we were trying to figure out how to get the actual chip 8 games onto actual tape.
Definitely be cool to see that going.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, that was close. I don't know how I didn't die right there. I really don't know what I'm just hitting him as many times as you can. I don't really know. I don't know that I've been this far. I've played it several times, but I definitely don't know that I've been here. Oh, the question. Question mark. Oh, come on. Sometimes you just can't hit those guys. There's my safe box. That unfinished ROM, was it an unfinished ROM or just unreleased?
It was
I mean, I
just
have the
unreleased.
homebrew.
Yeah,
Was it all the way done?
Yeah, they wanted to release that along with Stadium Mud Buggies and Spiker, but they ran out of money. So it was all completed, ready to go.
That was one of the early homebrews. Some games were finished, some were already done and got released.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a fan of that game though. There's way too much flicker for me.
Yeah, the flicker can't be helped.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, to actually, for me to enjoy it, just too much.
Oh yeah, the old T carts.
I cannot get good at this. Yeah, that's one of the few pieces of hardware that I don't own. I need a T card. Oh! Starting to get harder. Oh, I need that question mark. Oh, I didn't know it. I had a number. It wouldn't let me through. You know the answer to that, Michael?
That's hard to say.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff in the works.
There were 16 Intellivision games, so that would have brought it up to like 140. But yeah, there were quite a few unreleased and unfinished games. I'd say probably a good 2 or 3 dozen easily. Because I know INTV was also working on Shoplifter.
Yeah. It's not the original 125, no, but it's all part of the entire library.
Yeah. Funny thing is, we would never have known about the Intellivision if Keith Robinson didn't say something on the Blue Sky Rangers history page. Because there was no peep made about it in the INTV catalogs.
I mean, there's only prototypes out.
Right. Yeah, because it was demoed at the summer 1989 Consumer Electronics Show, and that took place in Chicago. That's why, like,
where
all the
most of
Yep.
them have been found.
yeah, in Chicago, and that's why. I can tell you also, because I tried to look this up. Also, at the summer 1989 CES was Epix did show off the Atari Lynx there, and then, but I think the real star of the show was that there was like a whole like a array of networked, I think it was Mech Warrior arcade cabinets, and they were all linked together. It's like when you go to the arcade and you see like 6 cabinets of like, oh, what is it, Daytona USA or
Yeah.
Sega Rally or something. It was like that, but it was like this mech. It was either Mech Warrior or BattleTech, one of the two.
I have 2 of them, Aaron.
I played with a play cable back in 1983.
I didn't know it existed as a kid.
Yeah, in 1983, because see, my mother's sister lives up in Connecticut, so so is my aunt, and then her, so uncle and 2 cousins. We went up to the visit. This is 1980. It was July 1983. We were there for the last week, and they happened to have play cable. We knew nothing about it until we saw it. So
Yeah, I mean, it was only in select areas.
yeah, so because they had cable, we didn't get cable till 1989 in our area, and of course we bought it right away because we were sick of having to fidget with the antenna to get decent reception. But yeah, there was like 6 pages of 4 games on each page, so 24 games. It was like a lot of the early games, like all the sports games, the Space Network games, the Strategy Network games, were all on there. But yeah, that's what it looks like. Yep. And I remember also Cloudy Mountain was on there, and I was playing that, and I was having a great old time. And like, my dad was kind of like, "Oh, I don't want you playing Dungeons and Dragons. That game's evil." And I'm like, "Okay, that this game's fun." It's like this game's
I had
so
that as
good.
a kid. It scared the crap out of me.
Oh yeah, yeah. You go into a room and all of a sudden, you're playing in the highest level, and the dragon just trounces you.
Yeah,
That's what
and
I
I didn't
remember.
know about, I wasn't reading the manual at 5.
Well, there wasn't a manual to read, so
I just
there
hit
was
the disc.
I think the screen would show you like very terse instructions you could bring up. Oh yeah, the keyboard components, what you're talking about here. There were 3. I'll put them in the
I don't
chat
have that.
here. Yep. Deckel did put out videos of the 3 games, but yeah, there was Conversational French, Jack LaLanne's Fitness Trainer, I think it was, and then Spelling Challenge.
I have some software, like the manual, some other good, cool stuff. Oh, I missed it. Oh,
Yeah, and then there was like, there were
6245.
Yeah, it did have it had its own basic interpreter. I think it was like, I think Microsoft actually developed it. The other 6 software titles for the keyboard component were all written in BASIC. So there was like a whole trilogy of crosswords software titles. Now I forget what the other ones were. There was like a family budgeting title. But yeah, those are all basic programs. Whereas these 3 that I put in the chat, those were like native keyboard component software that took like full advantage of like the tape drive and whatnot. But yeah, Conversational French was the best of the bunch. That's the one that had Mimi that taught you how to say a lot of different things in French based on like if you were at a hotel, if you were ordering at a restaurant, if you were going through customs. Yeah, Geography Challenge, I think it might have been. Yeah. I was thinking of Geographics. That was the level 2. Oh, look at that.
That's the only thing I have out that I know I can grab quick for the keyboard component items. I do have quite a bit of stuff, but this was a fairly recent purchase, and it's the only reason it's out. I don't think I have anything else. Oh, how far are we in? 3 hours. Good gosh.
Yeah, I was going to say. Oh, I was going to say, if you wanted me to take a minute and do a screen share, I can show that front end of mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's see here. What do we do? Hit present. And then I guess I'll do share screen here. East with 2 monitors. Well, all right. Let me see if I can just share a window. That'll be better. Let me just see here. Slides and PDFs. No, not a video file. I'll just do a screen share. What the hey? All right. What do I want?
Yes, and that is only a small part of it, Aaron. Small part.
Here we are.
It goes all the way around everywhere, and a lot of it's in boxes.
Fortunately, I have my other device I can see at the other end, but I'm sharing my front end.
There you go. Right there.
Oh, you can see it? Okay.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Let's just see. Okay, good. It all fits. So this is what you first see. Yep. So again, you can download this for free off my website. It's all written in Python, so you have to download Python. But when you first launch it, I have it set by default to show the sports network games. But then you can click here. You can see all the different categories. So gaming network, you've got it right here. And then I go through the ages. So here's I know you can't see like when I pull up the menu here, but the original onset, strategy network, action network, learning network. Then what I do is I get into 1981 because I'm reversing in Utopia that year. Let's see, 1981 action network. But what I do is I go through the years, so it's a chronological tour, and then I explain here what was going on. And when you click on a game, you get like how many players, a description of that game. So again, this is the 1981 Action Network games.
Nice.
Let's see. And then, of course, we get to Space Network for 1981. So Astro Smash and whatnot. And, of course, you'll notice, too, I have the color flash for that network. So navy blue for Space Network. Then we get to 1982 strategy. And I put Royal Dealer as strategy because there's no simulated money wagers. The cartridge label is purple, but the box was green. It's kind of funky because I think end of 1982, Mattel was getting away from networks at that point. 1982 Action Network games, so Frog Bog, Night Stalker, Shark, Sharp Shot that year. Then I separated out because, well, you also had Vectron for the arcade network that was burgundy colored. But then we get to the licensed games, which still, for 1982, were in the red Action Network boxes. So Cloudy Mountain, Lock and Chase, Tron Mazatron. Then, because all the third-party titles came up between 1982 and 1983, then I show like all the third-party. So iMagic, Activision, Coleco, Parker Brothers. And again, you see the color flash. Like, let's see here. Atari Soft is that hot pink interface. And then finally, and then Sega was Congo Bongo. But we get to 1983. These were the non-network games. So, Buzz Bombers and Motocross came in those like light green boxes. Mm-hmm. Pinball came in a purple box, so it was also non-network. Let's see. Then we get to more licensed games. So you have, like Bump and Jump, Burger Time, Kool-Aid Man, all came in this royal blue colored box. Masters of the Universe, there was a midnight blue variant box, but it was usually black. Mission X was also in the royal blue box. Then we get to, and then I do the IntelliVoice. And then finally ECS, which was in black boxes. So you had, Mind Strike, Scooby-Doo's Maze Chase, these ones. Then we get to the Crash. So you had the Dextel, which put out, Championship Tennis and World Cup Soccer.
And one of those you can play 4 players.
Yeah, World Cup
Is it
Soccer is
soccer?
4-player.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, Championship Tennis, I thought was supposed to be 4-player. Not only is it not, but it's also incompatible with ECS, surprisingly. Then you get to INTV. So I have it separated between, these are the games that were remakes and reissues. So you had Learning Fun 1 and 2, which is based on, of course, Math Fun and Word Fun. Pac-Man was a reissue because it was so popular. Triple Challenge was Chess, Checkers, and Backgammon. But then you had the sports games that were redone. So Mountain Madness was a better skiing. Slam Dunk was better basketball where you managed teams. Slapshot was just original hockey, but a little better graphics, and now with AI players.
That was the big one.
Yeah.
Single-player games.
Exactly. Super Pro Football had the sportscasters. So you had, Matt Foley living in a van down by the river. Yep. World Championship Baseball was a big deal.
I love baseball.
Then we get to the original games. These are the ones that Mattel Electronics were about to release. So Hover Force was, of course, going to be Hover Force 3D. Thin Ice was Duncan's Thin Ice, and that's the one that had Vuchko as the Easter egg. Thunder Castle was originally Mystic Castle. And then somewhere along the way, the name just magically changed in the catalogs. And Tower of Doom is awesome. Then we get to the licensed games, which was, you had Diner. And then you had the arcade games, Dig Dug, Commando, Pole Position. And finally, we get to the new sports titles. So Chip Shot was a new golf game. Super Pro Decathlon, Body Slam Super Pro, and then finally Stadium Mud Buggies, Spiker Super Pro Volleyball. Which I put them in this order because, of course, these two games I put these ones chronologically.
Are those all Steve Ettinger games or just most of them?
I know
Super Pro Decathlon. I think
all
of them are Super Pro Decathlon. I'm not sure on that one, but the other 4 I think are Steve Ettinger.
Yeah, I don't know about Stadium Mud Buggies either. But
yeah, that was it.
Yeah, these 3 are these are all Steve Ettinger.
Bodies, yeah.
Yeah, these are all Steve Ettinger. Then I have just a list of all the commercial games. Then you have the unreleased games. So, yeah, some of these are recognized. Eventually, Tron Breakout, Duncan's Thin Ice, some of the ECS games. So, Flintstones, Game Factory. I've said this many times. I'd have hit the ceiling as a kid to have had Game Factory and make my own games.
Yep, that was perfect for you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yes, they are. Yeah, IntelliVoice does have some kind of weird interface if you take the top panel off. But here's the other.
Some of them were sealed up, and some you can remove. It depends on the unit you have.
Yeah, it depends on the units because there were later ones. This is the other level 1 2 division game, Map Mazes. And you'll notice it's kind of an Easter egg because you see it spells "In Hal We Trust." Yep. Let's see the other. Yeah, some of the multi-carts like Party Line was a multi-cart. So was Go for the Gold. But yeah, let's see here. This is what Shapes in Space looks like. It teaches math. That's what it does. Yogi's Frustration was another Hanna-Barbera game. Oh yeah, Super NFL Football. It was that sort of isometric or whatever, had geometry. Soccer 2. This is the one that had the product placements. You had Coca-Cola, Perrier, I think
sponsors.
Yeah, Ford, Heinz 57, maybe Energizer. I'm not sure, but yeah. Let's see. Then we have the unfinished games. So, here's Space Cant again. Some of the IntelliVoice games like Space Shuttle. This game is amazing. Space Shuttle is really good. Quest was
is that the version that was released in the voice package?
Yep.
So you can play. How much more playable is that than the original little thing we got years ago?
That I don't know. I don't know if Dave Harley worked on it or if there was who's that other guy from Switzerland. I forget his name. Gurnot, I think, was very interested in this game.
So I know you can play a little bit. I don't know how far, but you can play more than you ever could before.
Yeah, because you have to like you send out a robot arm and you have to fetch like a failing satellite or something. You had like Robot Robo and Leave of Light were Activision games. King of the Mountain, Dave Harley really beefed this up and did a great job of it. This game's
Super
fun.
Pro King of the Mountain.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
Click on
Quest.
Here's
that. Oh yeah, Quest. That was that. It starts off.
You got there's Airstrike.
Yeah, Quest. It has IntelliVoice in it. This guy says like, "Who are you?" or something like that. But yeah, it looks a lot like you get into gameplay, and it looks a lot like Treasure Retirement. But yeah, Airstrike. This is the one I was saying. Again, you had like random, like you had procedurally generated terrain. It has the flying mechanics of biplanes, but it plays like Scramble, where you're shooting and dropping bombs on targets. But yeah, let's see. Crazy Clones was just sort of a silly exercise or whatever. Let's see here. Super Masters, which in the levels got recycled in the diner. Things like that. You had like Rocky and Bullwinkle, Scarfinger. But let's see here. Then we get to, I had like the demos and utilities. So like the original 1978 demo, which here's a variant where it's still mentioned that the keyboard component was coming soon. You know, it played like Space Odyssey.
Yeah, the later one, they just took that part out.
They just took that screen out, yeah. The two other demo, I used to have the loose carts of these. But yeah, this one had B-17 Bomber in it, so using IntelliVoice. And then, the Happy Holidays, Easter Egg Excitement, Santa's Helper, and Trick or Treat. It was supposed to have been combined into a multi-card, I guess. Grid Shock was the one that demoed the Intellivision 3. Like, oh, look at this. It's all 3D and it's got really cool sounds. And yeah, Space Shuttle was really ambitious. I'd say, well, honestly, I would say the most ambitious unreleased game was Game Factory. I'll go back to that for a sec. Because Game Factory, first of all, it's as big as the biggest games that were released. So it's 24 K times 10-bit, so 240 kilobit. And it has 2K of onboard RAM, just like Chess did. And it uses the 2K of RAM inside the ECS. So it was a real pig. And the reason it was so huge is because it had like a library of built-in graphics. Yeah, Game Factory. I'd love to talk about this. I have a bootleg physical copy. I took the instructions from that and completely typed it up, made a PDF out of it. Just so there could be a digital copy, because I thought there was a digital copy on Intellivision Lives or Intellivision Rocks. I couldn't find one, so I completely digitized the instructions. But yeah, basically it was kind of like your standard like game maker kind of thing. Like it has like a sort of a ready-made game engine and. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't even know how it got discovered, but I'm so glad it did because now here's the thing though. So it has a built-in game on it too. The screenshot you see here is the built-in game called Guess Who's Gonna Be Dinner. But yeah, there's some kind of bug where when you save your game onto an Aquarius tape and then reload it again, the sprite graphics get loused up. So I'm trying to hack Game Factory to fix that bug, because if I can fix the bug and then get a release of this with the bug fix, oh boy. What I really want to do is make a game with Game Factory once the bug is fixed and then put it onto a virtual Aquarius tape and just put it out there on AtariAge.
Oh, yeah.
That would be cool. But yeah. Game Factory, it actually, again, the ROM of Game Factory, I think, was on Intellivision Rocks. So it wasn't a recent discovery, but I think, yeah, Dave Harley took it. Is it
listed on that one?
What?
Is it listed on that one?
It should be. Yeah, if you put in the Intellivision Rocks CD, the ROM should be on there. Let's see here. Yeah, demos and utilities, so... Oh yeah, the Spirit demo I put on here, and then
There's
the Castle
Intellivision
trailer.
Rocks.
Yep. Yes, Intellivision Rocks. Yeah, I've got it too. The ROM for Game Factory should be on there. But yeah, it should be on Rocks because Rocks had the ECS and IntelliVoice and also the iMagic and Activision games on it. Oh, let's see here. Then, of course, Deckel's Bad Apple.
Oops, how do I get back?
And then I put like a bunch of the indie games that have already been released. So let's see. So yeah, the original 4, Fortress, Stonix, Mindhunter, and then My Same Game and Robots. Then he had, because Joe Beachak did release the Space Patrol ROM also for free at one point. This is the original, not quite finished GK Arcade. Then he had the free ROM of Christmas Carol. And a lot of the other ones that Dave Harley put out for free on his website, like Super Chef Burger Time.
That one's great.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Intellivision Rocks came a year later in year 2000.
Yeah, afterwards. Harder to get, too.
Yeah, it's a second. It's a follow-up to the original Intellivision Lives. The emulator was cleaned up a little bit. Let's see. Space Raid was Oscar Toledo Gutierrez's first game, and it was all in all assembly. Then Princess Quest. Let's see. Desert Bus, because after all the physical copies of Desert Bus, I don't know who did Game Factory. Maybe it was Dave Warhol. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, after all the physical copies of Desert Bus, then the ROM was released for free. So this is the free ROM. Let's see. But anyhow, and here's my little man computer, of course, because I got to plug. Oh, the only reason Fubar is right here is because I added it in just so I could play it on my Twitch live stream. Of course, I don't bundle it. This is a paid ROM. It's my paid ROM. I wrote this. But yeah, little man computer. Let's see here. And then, yeah, also I have the Inti Basic contest from last year. So, my game was Pensate.
Great game, too.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun. I don't know if you watched, but I actually programmed this game on my Twitch stream.
I hardly ever catch Twitch, and lately I've been seeing it a little more. And every time I see it, I pop on. It's just I usually don't see it.
Oh, yeah. Yes. So how I do a homebrew game, I created my own dev environment on an Android device. It used to be, because I used to be so busy that the only thing I could do was I would have my phone, and I first put my dev environment on my Android phone and just had my keyboard hand, and I just filled the cracks of my time and just banged out a few lines of code at a time. And that's how I got Fubar done. Then finally I got a decent tablet, and then I beefed up my environment to have like a full desktop environment, but it's running on an Android tablet now. But that's where I do all my games. But that and having these two books are the best resources to have. Here's, let's see, Deckel's Pinty, which I let this run all night with speed throttling turned off, so I got it to compute 4,000 digits.
Computing how many digits of pi?
Yeah. And then here's Chippy, which, of course, there was, Pinty for Chippy also, but I don't know if you watched, but I loved Chippy. I was so impressed because my environment was ideal for running.
But nobody was playing that.
Yeah, I was the only one who played Chippy because, again, my environment is tailor-made, basically. It was a real shoo-in to play Chippy. Let's see. So, yeah, I was just able to play it no problem. Plus, because Deckel had bundled a Python script, so you could just take any other Chip 8 game and then just run the script and make your own virtual Aquarius tape. So I downloaded a huge bunch of Chip 8 games off of Internet Archive. And I was going through and saying, oh, this one looks cool. Let me, so I ran his script, and then boom, then I just went and played it. So I was playing a bunch of other games that weren't bundled with his original offering. And I was just having a great old time of it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I need to try it one of these days.
Yeah, again, you of all people on the face of the earth have all the hardware to run chippy on original hardware, which is why I want to see it.
Yeah, we'll definitely be doing that. Maybe for the Tutor Vision video, we'll have to get that in there.
Perhaps, yeah. And you maybe Deco can probably help you too.
Yeah, I'll definitely, some of that technical stuff, I'll need help from you and Deckle.
Yes, but definitely, yeah, I would love to come on and talk about Little Man Computer, because again, I just want to know, does it run on original hardware? Because I've never had a chance to find out. Sheep It Up was a great game too, but yeah. So anyhow, yep. So this is my front end, and you can see you can pick like what exec do you want. Yes, so the Tutor Vision does have extra RAM. It has extra RAM. It has like a expansion to the executive ROM. It has 4 times the graphics RAM of the original Intellivision. It has a newer system font. And I'm forgetting what the 5th thing is, but yeah, there are 5 key things that makes it the Tutor Vision beefier than an original Intellivision.
And just like anything, they would have come out with a lot more impressive games.
The resolution, it does have 1 additional pixel column on the far right. So now instead of 159 by whatever 96, it's now 160 by 96. So yeah, very slightly better resolution, but otherwise it's really the same. But you can pick so you can see up here in the top corner, you can pick your executive ROM. So you can pick, do you want Intellivision 2, Sears Super Video Arcade, the Tutor Vision's exec. You have the original graphics ROM, or again, the newer one that was in the Tutor Vision. You can pick, do you want ECS is grayed out now because it's incompatible with Tutor Vision. But you can pick, do you want IntelliVoice, do you want ECS? Behind the scenes, it'll automatically check. So like if you pick World Series Major League Baseball, it used both these. So these are both checked by default. What you need. Yep. How much graphics RAM? Again, that only matters for Tutor Vision. So if I go back to the unreleased, so like map mazes, it goes over to quadruple because it's Tutor Vision. Custom palette, this is something I put in so that you can have brown actually be brown and light blue actually be light blue, because I'm anal about that. Not olive green and lavender. Yeah. It's like I want the sky to look like sky blue, right? Not lavender, not neon pink either. Yep. Thank you. So yeah, that's why I have this custom palette check. You can set, how do you want no sound, or do you want, say, lower quality sound if your CPU can't quite keep up, or better quality sound? You can set your resolution. There's a bunch of predefined resolutions, or you can have a custom one. Let's see. Border size, and then windowed or full screen, NTSC or PAL. Oh, let me just see what is that? Oh, I see something's in the way here. Okay, could you have a 6-player game? Actually, maybe, and that would be great to know, because I do have a 6-player game I'm working on. You heard it here. Yes, I am working on a 6-player game, and then I also said if there's ever a way to have 8 players, I will go back and rewrite Foobar for 8 players, because I can very easily do that, because already you can have 8 AIs, and it's that much easier to just pull the controller for players 5 through 8.
How would that work? Because I know, like the ECS, they are 3 and 4.
Yeah,
the consoles 1 and 2. The IntelliPort that's about to come out, you can select 1 and 2 or 3 and 4.
Or 3, yeah. And I asked about that. Apparently, it would just still be 1 and 2 or 3 and 4. It's not going to be a 5 and 6.
Yeah.
So
that's what I thought.
And yeah, I know nothing about the IntelliVoice's internal expansion port, so I'd have to find out about that. But yeah, if there's a way to do 5 and 6, sure, then I could work on my 6-player game. That would be cool.
Does this run on Mac or just PC?
I could probably port it to Mac, except I don't have any Apple devices at all.
Yeah, that's the main reason I don't have it up and running. Well, I mean, I play original
Oh, yeah.
hardware, but I'm sitting here in front of a Mac.
Oh yeah. Now the other thing is, now because this is written in Python, in theory it should be a piece of cake to just port it over to Mac, because Python, you don't really need to do much of anything to port it across different systems. Like the only thing I had to do when I took it from my original Linux-based PIDE was I just had to change like the font definitions, and then instead of generating like a temp bash script in Linux, just convert it to a temp batch file for Windows. I think there's like one other change I had to make, but otherwise that, converting a Python script or porting it is actually pretty trivial, which is one of the beauties of Python as a programming language.
If you ever try it, I'd love to test it out.
Yeah. Well, again, I'd have to actually have a Mac. That's the only thing stopping me. Because otherwise, yeah, I'd love to put this out for Mac, along with the rest of my Python scripts. Let's see. But yeah, otherwise, there you have it. That's my front end. I know that went way longer than a couple of minutes, but again,
that's amazing. I love that. That's I'm gonna have to. I have a PC in the other corner of the room, the game room. I'll have to get that up and running and get all that set up, because I definitely like to play around in there.
Oh yeah, because again, it's so much easier, and it's JZINTV, so it's the emulator to have for compatibility and whatnot.
Yeah, and your front end, I've been wanting to use it for a long time. Like I said, I just run on a Mac.
Yeah,
and I don't have it. Maybe whenever I get my desk expansion, I'm supposed to be working on that. I just haven't had time, like most things. Maybe I can put a Mac over here as well. Then I can go back and forth.
Oh yeah,
that would be probably a good thing to have. But anything else, sir?
Yeah, that was the big one, was showing off my front end. Let's see. And again, at some point, we'll talk about Little Man Computer in depth, because, I had like this big old binder with my instructions on it. And the game, if you want to, because it's not really a game, it's a simulation of a theoretical computer, but the whole point of it is to go through the instructions and do everything in there. And then at the end of it, there's like extra exercises to try your hand at. But that'll be fun. Otherwise, though, again, I'm going to be up I got to wake up in like 4.5 hours, go back to work next day. Yeah,
you better get some sleep. It's only 8:30 here. 8:23. My stomach's going.
Well, that too. I didn't even eat dinner, but let's see. And of course, Friday nights I have my Twitch live stream. Any Holy Grail unreleased game? Welp. For Intellivision, really the Tutorvision stuff, I'd have to say. There are some unreleased. Well, you saw kind of a list of the unreleased stuff, but I don't know if there's really any of the unreleased games that would be a Holy Grail.
Tutorvision itself.
Yeah.
I mean,
really.
Arabic console is pretty rare, but nothing like a Tutorvision.
Maybe the keyboard component software.
Yeah, I do have several things for that, and a lot of paperwork. The manual. I was this close to having a KC unit, and it fell through.
Well, again, you're talking about unreleased and undone. Tutorvision. Because again, there's 16 games that were made, and of them we only have 3. So that's 13 that are still out there.
Where are we going here? So the panel right here.
Yep.
That's where you're going to find the controller ports, but not all of them. I believe they changed it where this is glued on, but you can pop this off in early models, and there's 2 controller ports.
Actually, now the ECS, same thing. I don't know if you got an ECS handy, because again, mine's not in the lab here.
So that's all you get in a more modern one. I broke the tab off just for you, Aaron.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a slot in there. I've never seen the inside like that before. That's
so
cool.
This is whenever they started not having the ports there, but they just glued the cover on.
Nice. The ECS. I don't know if you'd noticed, but you know how like you have that grill on top, like the vents. If you have an ECS handy, we just bring it over. Just show us the top of it.
Yeah, you can see the little.
Yeah, you see that one strip right there?
Yeah,
that
the little
strip. Yeah, the early units that was supposed to come off too.
You can see that looks like it should pop off.
Yeah, because in the early units, if you took that off, there was a slot inside where you're supposed to put in like this big like RAM expansion cartridge, just like with the Aquarius.
Huh. I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah. But again, only I think like the very early units had it. Mattel dropped the idea before it went to production. Yeah, it was this really big, wide cartridge. It was as wide as the ECS itself. And it was skinny, but you would just slide it down in. It would plug into that expansion slot, and you would have like maybe an extra 4K of RAM or something. But thing is, though, knowing the Intellivision's memory map, that extra RAM would have to be bank switched. But at least then you wouldn't be limited to like only 90 lines of ECS basic code. Maybe, but again, that would just be like buying up a whole bunch of like super pro Intellivisions and seeing if any of them have like the Tutor Vision hardware in it. Yeah,
I have a Tutor Pro, which is basically everything inside of a Tutor Vision, but not the shell. But I have, I don't know, 4 or 5 ECS units, and then I have a few box ones, but I've never looked for that panel. But as far as if you were talking about the IntelliVoice, there are certain early ones that will have game ports, and that whenever you pop that off.
Yep.
But you can see where they solder on.
Yep.
So now I have to show and tell.
Want to know something else? Okay, so Intellivision 2 does have double graphics RAM on it.
Huh.
It does. Back in that INTV Prague listserv we talk about way back, Joe Bichak back in 2010 documented this. And it is, I think, archived somewhere on AtariAge, but it has inside, because you remember the Intellivision 2 was sort of like streamlined and everything was all on one board. The GRAM chips, there's 2 chips of 4 bits wide, but they're 1K, which is double what the Intellivision usually has, as half a K. So it's got double the GRAM, but it would probably still be ports 3 and 4, because again, I don't think any games at all would have looked for those IntelliVoice ports.
I don't think so.
I don't know enough about the IntelliVoice to be able to answer that. But so anyhow, the Intellivision 2 does have double GRAM, but 3 of the pins are wired in such a way to disable the extra GRAM. And I'm assuming that's for compatibility reasons.
You would think.
But yeah, if you ever send in your, say, Intellivision 2 console to be refurbished, it should be a trivial thing to also enable the extra GRAM. Because there is a game I want to write that will require that double GRAM and an ECS, which means
you mean like Jesse at Ivory Tower Collections could do that?
Should be able to, yeah. With everything else they do, enabling the extra GRAM should be trivial. And well, to read the Coleco games on Intellivision 2 might not be that easy, because you'd have to change the executive ROM. So I would say probably not.
You know what I was just sitting here thinking whenever we talked about the IntelliVoice game ports might not be read.
Yeah.
There's a chance. I need to see if I have one or buy one of the early ones. If I don't, there's a chance that they'll work as 3 and 4, because that's how the IntelliPort works. It's going through that same way. I'm not saying, I don't know, but I'm just guessing it might do the same as the IntelliPort. Yeah,
that'd be nice to find out.
It'd be cool to try and make a good video too.
Yeah, again, I do have a 6-player game that I was working on. So if there's ever a way to do 6 players, I'll work on that again. And if we ever get to 8 players, I will redo Fubar.
How would
for
they
8
even
players.
do that?
Yeah, I'm just saying if. Yeah, that'll be something. Let's see. But yeah, so again, one of the games I wanted to do would require the double G RAM plus ECS, which means because ECS is incompatible with tutor vision, you couldn't even use a tutor vision. It would just have to be that modified Intellivision 2, which again, because so few people would have that hardware combo, I'd probably just put it out for free. But what it would use in the ECS is it would use the ECS RAM and the keyboard. Yep.
Yeah, that's something I didn't know about until recent years, that there were ports on, but it's only a small amount of them. Most of them you're going to find they're not under there. You're going to see just like what I saw. I had to break that.
Yeah. Now the other thing too is there was that fellow who developed that thing called the ACC, Advanced Console Component or something, and it was another plugin thing that gave you like an extra layer of better graphics.
I don't think I haven't seen that.
Like higher resolution, and we're talking, higher color palette. I have a proto unit, but it won't turn on. So I don't know what's wrong with it, but if I can ever get it to power up, I definitely want to develop a game for that. Because yes, I have a game idea waiting in the wings for that too. But it won't do any good if I can't test it.
So is Pinsate going to be released on any kind of compilation, or wouldn't that be a great game for like Triple Challenge 3 or?
Actually, yeah, I was talking about putting Pinsate on a Triple Challenge Volume 3, but again, we have something else in mind for Triple Challenge Volume 3 right now. So Pinsate's probably not going to make the cut. The 3D effects. The way it worked was you wore, special like 3D glasses, kind of like with the red and blue cellophane. And the way Hover Force was programmed was it makes heavy use of red and blue colors, which then it had something to do with like the colors that are used in Hover Force, which with these particular 3D glasses would actually get you that sort of pop out effect.
You get somewhat of a pop out effect just by looking at it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because of, again, the heavy use of red and blue, but you could
That's
try
another game that I didn't have as a kid, but I really enjoy that one. Once you figure out how to play it, it's a fun game.
Yeah, we got that from the INTV catalogs. And yeah, it's tied because there's a 3-way tie for biggest of the original 125. Hover Force, World Series Major League Baseball, and Tower of Doom were the 3 biggest of the original 125.
Yeah, Hover Force is amazing. If you didn't know any better, you would think it was a homebrew.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's very well done. My only gripe about that game, well, one, I didn't know at first that the dollar figure, you don't want a higher number because dollar figure has to do with millions of dollars in damage done to the city. So you want to keep that number low. But the other thing too is the scoring. It seems to be loused up because you get a rating, like you get a rating based on 100%, and it has to do with how long it takes you to complete the mission, among, I think, a couple other things, like, how few fires you had to put out and how little, monetary damage. But when you clear more than one mission, your score doesn't accumulate, it averages out, which is kind of funky. So like you could make it to the 4th mission, and then what'll happen is your score, your rating is averaged out from the first 3 missions. So you're better off like get 100% of the first mission and just kill yourself in the second mission just to get 100% rating.
I had no idea how that worked.
Yeah, it's kind of loused up. It should accumulate instead of averaging out, but again, that's my only gripe. Otherwise, that's a really solid game. Let's see. Yeah, Tower of Doom is great because, again, there's so many different missions. It's really kind of like a early roguelike game. That's why it's so wonderful.
Any other questions, Aaron, before we wrap it up?
Yeah.
We're approaching longest show
But
ever.
yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm always happy to talk Intellivision with anybody who's willing to talk.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah. But I'm glad I got a chance to show my front end, because that was
that's amazing. I've never seen all that. I mean, I've seen some of it, but not all that. Like having you go through and talk about it and show everything was really cool.
Yep. So this question here, yes, JLP does allow for saving to cartridge. So
we're doing that already.
Yep. Yeah. So Foobar uses that. So like when you create your own custom game configuration, you can save it without having to redo it each time.
Saving your high scores.
Yep. Blix and Chocolate Mine, I save your top scores. Little Man Computer, you save your work. And here's another little technical thing. Again, this probably go right over your head, but the way saving works on JLP is you have so many sectors, and each sector has 8 what are called rows, and each row has 96 variables. So it's like the St. Ives riddle, right? Kittens, cats, sacks, wives. So anyway, Little Man Computer saves so much data when I give you 10 sectors, like I give you 10 save files. When you save your work to a file, it saves to the entire sector. That's how big it is. There's so much that gets saved. Little Man Computer really was my biggest program I ever wrote. But let's see. Beyond that, I don't think I put JLP to use in anything else I've done so far. But yeah, JLP allows for saving. It gives you extra RAM, which again, Foobar needed that. And it has like some real-time math routines, which Foobar puts to full use. Here's a good question. Text Adventures. Actually, that was the mystery program I said I was working on that would require the modified Intellivision 2 plus ECS. The reason you need that combo of hardware is because to be able to shoehorn like a mini font onto part of the screen, it's going to be a mini text adventure. The closest thing we have to a text-based game, though, is my implementation of Hunt the Wumpus, which is on Triple Challenge Volume 2. Because I did the text-based version from 1971, and then tacked on, like, when something happens, I use the Intellivision to do like sort of like graphical and with sound like events. Like if a bat picks you up, you see like a bat picking up your character before you get randomized to a new room. If you get eaten by the Wumpus, you just see these jaws come down on the screen. If you fall into a pit, you see like this expanding green, like slime green fill the whole screen, and then you see the word splat just kind of pan across the screen. Let's see here. IntelliVoice sound more. Oh, yeah.
You can use any voices you want. They have some software now that once you get your samples, you just you put it in the game.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind making an IntelliVoice game that sings, but that's me because I have a musical background.
Someone should make an Alexa for the IntelliVoice.
Oh, well, that would require voice. That would require like some kind of microphone, which, well, the keyboard component had a microphone. That would be pretty. Yeah, you could get somebody to imitate, or even just use like AI, because I don't know if you ever seen like those. There were those YouTube videos called President's Play, and it's got like President Trump, Biden, and Obama playing like Mario Kart together with their AI voices, and they're all trash talking each other.
Yep.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. Imagine if we could solve all our political disputes over a game of Mario Kart. Yeah.
Yeah, back to the IntelliVoice voices. They're doing pretty cool stuff. A lot of the homebrews coming out have voices in them. Like Ghostbusters has a lot. Mike, if you've ever seen, he was in here earlier, Mike's Gaming Gala.
Yeah.
He actually does a lot of voices for mini homebrews.
Like Ultimate Ghostbusters. Actually, I remember like way back when I was in grad school, I'd fantasize like doing like doing a cartoon or something, and like having somebody with a parakeet, and he'd train the parakeet to say B-17 bomb or something. Like, imagine going to somebody's house and the parrot just belts out, bombs away, and then it drops a load or something.
It's not easy to do. Like, my intro, that's actually an IntelliVoice file. So when I say the Intellivision Gamer, I had that done through that same process that they make the games. They're working on a better version for me. I'm waiting on Mike of Mike's Gaming Gala to do the audio. But yeah, I was like, that would be so cool to have my own voice, be made into an IntelliVoice voice. And that's what they did on my intro.
Yeah. The other thing too is I think there was a show where Willie and, Mike Gaming Gala were all together, and they were both saying that I think it was Joe Beachiak who reverse engineered the IntelliVoice and didn't want just anybody.
Yep.
To have to be able to just. So I guess I can understand, but then, that just leaves everybody else to just use the crappy allophones, which sounds just fine for Gorf and Wizard of War, which sounded like that to begin with. But otherwise, I personally have no interest in putting IntelliVoice into any of my games. Except again, if I could make it sing, I'd love to have a singing sample and put it into 8-player foobar. And at the title screen, have it saying "Foobar." But beyond that, yeah,
it can sound pretty clear with the stuff they're using now. It's a lot more clear.
And depending on how much ROM space you want to dedicate to a single sample, we're talking, a whole 4K bank for 1 second worth of voice.
There are some homebrews that have pushed the limits of JLP.
Oh, yeah. Again, Ultimate Ghostbusters is probably like the pinnacle of what we've seen. Plus it uses the ECS and IntelliVoice together.
Let me see if I can show real quick before we sign off. I'll use my newly broken IntelliVoice.
IntelliVoice, yeah.
Where is it? I've got a copy of Ghostbusters Ultimate that I used to play. I've got my special signed version. I don't want to open that. The first few times I played this, I forgot to hook up the IntelliVoice.
Funny you mentioned that. That Spirit demo that I briefly showed on PIDEJL, that was programmed in 2004 by Arnold Chevalier. And he was doing all kinds of things like, had like the 8 vertices of a cube rotating around in 3D space. But the only problem is that would be the only thing you could do.
It said Ghostbusters. Did you guys hear it?
Oh, yeah. But we're only seeing half the screen right now.
Oh, let me switch that.
There you go. But yeah, that was the IntelliVoice you heard. Ghostbusters! And that was Mike's Gaming Gala saying that.
Yep. There's several voices. We can get we'll hit a few right here.
Yeah, he slimed me.
Yep. And then we're gonna sign off before I get divorced.
Yeah. Yep. But that was the IntelliVoice you heard. Also, too,
it's pretty clear. I heard it really loud and clear on my end, but I'm picking up the sound through the mic, which isn't the best way.
To answer that one question, too, about 3D effects, Arnold Chevalier did program another demo, which I only recently discovered. And it's this quick little sample where you see, like, it looks like a checkered tile pattern, and it's rotating and zooming in and out.
I've seen that.
Yeah. I just saw that only recently. I was like, holy cow, that's awesome. Now, supposedly there's more math routines that JLP can do that have not yet been disclosed. I've heard rumors about real-time trigonometry, which I've got another game idea for that. If I can program real-time trigonometry, I would love to do something where I would love to have like a 2-player head-to-head game where basically the world rotates while your ship stays stationary.
I think the IntelliVoice sound was down low. I might have fixed it now.
Yeah, it depends on how it's programmed. JLP takes a lot of the weight off the CPU's shoulders. So with the JLP card, you should be able to do more that wouldn't be possible in an actual Intellivision as far as like CPU usage.
I want to get one good clear voice in for him.
He slimed me.
I'll let him slime me. I was trying the other day, and it took like 7 or 8 times before Mike said
to
that.
get slimed. All you have to do is miss.
Yeah.
Do they say anything when you cross the streams?
I don't know.
Can you move?
That was pretty clear. Can you move?
That was perfect.
My IntelliVoice was down low. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, JLP is built into some of the cartridges for the homebrew games, so you don't have to have a module. So that's the cool thing. Yeah, it's just built into a lot of the homebrews. And again, Foobar puts it to really good use. The real-time math routines, the extra RAM, saving your configuration to flash.
I didn't hear all of what you said, but the amount of size you can use.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Plus, JLP also allows for bigger ROM sizes and bank switching.
Which they've also hit the ceiling at recently by a few games.
Yeah. Ultimate Ghostbusters is really big. That Bad Apple demo is huge, too. Because, like, all those frames of animation. I wouldn't be surprised about Intellivision.
I don't know if Intellivision is a JLP game or not.
May or may not be. Dragon Warrior isn't. Or
I
Dragon
can find
Quest.
out, but I know Rev is not awake at midnight. His time, anyway. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. We're 3 hours and 48 minutes in. I think that's a new record, but it was fun having you on as always. We'll have to do it again. Maybe we can do have you on and do like a recording session and talk all about that front end and just put out a video on the front end.
Oh yeah, the front end and Little Man Computer.
Yep, we need to do that too. I want to put that in on the other video. Eventually I'll get to working on that. Mm-hmm. I really want to do it before someone else does, since I actually have one.
Yeah. No, I actually, again, I dedicated my whole life to just programming Intellivision. And again, I held on to that dream since 1981. So I've absorbed all the knowledge I can about Intellivision.
What are you doing up, Jeffrey?
Yes.
We got used. He's East Coast also. You guys are night owls. All right, buddy. Well, thanks for coming on. It's always fun to have you on. Very knowledgeable. Huge part of the Intellivision community. Programmer. I mean, you do it all pretty much.
And again, I want one of the Blue Sky Rangers to tell me I earned my chair. I earned my seat among the next gen Blue Sky Rangers.
I know it doesn't count for us, but we all think that you were in that.
Yeah.
8:50. PM or AM? Or PM or AM. 8:50 is my time. Are you on the West Coast, Ugo?
Well, that's good to know. Yes.
You are a Blue Sky Power Ranger.
There you go. Nice. Well, more like Sapphire, but who's counting?
Yep. I'm from California, Central Valley, Modesto area, if you know where that is. I don't live in Modesto, but very close.
Hmm.
That's pretty much the town around me. I live out in the country. All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for episode 67. Next week, we've got some homebrew gameplay along with the regular show. We're going to play some of the games we've highlighted, and we're going to probably keep it down to around 2 hours next week. I think Michael should take over the Amico.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I would love
no
to
one
have been
really
a part
doing
of
that.
that. Yeah, I would love to have been a part of that. Nobody ever asked my input. That's all I know. And I was really excited on that original 2018 May call.
Oh, yeah. I didn't
Because
see
it's
it
like-
that early, but I was super excited. That's what brought me back.
Yeah,
That's what brought me back to collecting and all the stuff that I've
I was
bought.
on that. I was on that call live, but because again, you think about it, it had been 35 years since the original crash, and all that 35 years, I had been waiting for some kind of Intellivision renaissance to happen. I really had hoped that would have been it.
Yep, that was our shot. I don't know that we're going to get anything out. Well, now with Atari, we might get an Intellivision Plus or
Maybe.
a core on something, or, you know,
Maybe.
who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
something. Maybe a
There-
digital
yeah.
download for the history being added to Atari 50.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. That would be cool, too.
yeah, but again, yeah, maybe we'll
Yeah,
still
we
get on
got
the
it started
renaissance.
again.
Yeah, but all I know is, you know, nobody ever asked my input on what was going on with, you know, I mean, nobody really asked any of our input, and that's just it. We, the Intelligent fan base, they should have been talking to us.
Yeah, all the people behind the scenes anyway, the brilliant minds, yours, Deckel,
Yeah,
you know, some of the other programmers,
they should have talked to
you know,
us.
Yeah.
But
Why don't you tell, for anyone who doesn't know, you know, how to follow you on Twitch?
yes. So my handle is NT Labs, short for Intellivision Library or Laboratory. Again, I can't post it here, but I'll put it in the private chat. You can copy it over.
Yep.
And again,
I'm
most
sure,
of my socials.
Aaron would love to follow you on Twitch.
Oh yes, okay. Because yeah, on Friday night is when I usually do my Twitch streams, and that's when I usually play Intellivision. If I can squeeze in a little extra time during the week, I might do a surprise bonus stream unannounced and play something not in Intellivision.
And he loves to chat in television while he's doing all that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I always, when I get in there, we start talking and he goes late, or we stop playing.
Oh yeah. It's not shown as a link, but yeah.
Oh, it's not showing as a link? Yeah, it must have to be formatted different because I copied it just how you typed it.
Oh yeah. Maybe if I put the full URL in there. Friday night is usually when I go live with Intellivision. I'll try it again this way.
If you have the app, that's what I do, and I follow him, and then it'll pop up and
It'll
tell you when he
notify.
goes live.
Yep. All right, let's try this. This should show up as a link.
That one may. I've hardly ever thrown
depends.
links, so I'm
Usually-
not real sure.
Usually it's late Friday night, so like 11 o'clock at night. There it goes. Yeah, so we're talking 11 o'clock Eastern time, roughly. It all depends on when I'm finally able to go live, just with my schedule right now. But and then it all depends. If I'm like dog tired, I might only play for like 30, 40 minutes. Yeah, so it all depends.
Well,
But-
like right now, you have to get up in 4 hours, you said?
Yeah.
I still
Nothing
can
I'm-
get a whopping, I usually get up 5:45. But I mean,
Yeah,
it's not
nothing
even
I'm
9
not used
o'clock
to.
here.
Oh, okay. That's
All
Oh,
right,
yeah.
I'm going to close it up. Stick around, Michael. I'll say
No
goodbye
problem.
to you. But
Yep.
that's going to do it for today's show, guys. Next week, like I said, we've got some homebrew gameplay. We feature a lot of games, Homebrew Highlight, where I try to, you know, showcase a certain homebrew game every week, show you what comes in the box, do a little bit of gameplay, but nothing lengthy. Like today when we were playing Naughty Boy, that's way longer than I normally go. I'm going to pick a few games, and we're going to play through some of them. The goal is every week for me to go live and play the Homebrew Highlight, but I haven't had much time here lately. So we're going to make a show out of that. And if you haven't already, hit the like button. Big thanks to Michael for coming on. It was always great when he comes on. I love the guests. It's, especially when they're knowledgeable like he is. And we'll see you next week. And now we're going to look at the fixed outro with the right times and talking about the Horse Racing Live, which will be coming up in a few weeks. Let me see that.
Rise up, get ready for the fight. The Intellivision gamer, shining so bright. Reviews and gameplay, he's got it all from classics to new. He stands tall, interviews and insights. He's on a mission, unleashing the power of retro intuition. He's got the knowledge, the passion untamed. IntelliPaddle burning with the flame. YouTube's his stage, subscribers unite. Intellivision gamer, he brings the light with the game console.